Center, number 59, Peter Espinosa. Right guard, number 53, Dylan Ibarra. Right tackle, number 78, Armando Cifuentes. Wide receiver, number 16.
Welcome to the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from
wide receiver, number 1, Devon Farmer. Slot receiver, number 23, Michael Johnson III. Slot receiver, number 5, Isaiah Moon. Running back, number 2.
Welcome to the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. Kent Brown alongside George Contreras here from Pacifica High School for a big Pacific View League game here tonight. Pacifica comes in 5-0 on the season, and Oxnard 3-2, a crosstown rivalry. Two teams that desperately want to make a statement tonight. It's not just league play, it's bragging rights. It's a rivalry game. It's a team changing their jerseys from warm-ups to when they enter the field. This is not only a big game for both programs, it's one that could really change the dynamics of how their season goes forward.
Absolutely. They come into the season both as the preseason favorites to win this championship. And their play so far has been just that. As you said, Pacifica 5-0 on the season, bouncing back from a 2-9 year last year. And we have Oxnard with a 3-2 record, having played perhaps a little bit tougher schedule than Pacifica on the year. But again, two fine football teams. Really for Pacifica, they only have 4 seniors on the roster, so they're really a team that's about a year ahead of schedule where they'd like to be. But it should be a great football game with a lot of bragging rights and recruiting rights as well on the line.
And we've had Oxnard here on our Ventura Orthopedic Game of the Week. Pacifica is new this season to our broadcast, and as we go on tonight, we will break down their team, but watch out. There's 3 different tailbacks, Alan Johnson, Malik Sherrod, and Quentin Poehler, all of which will get carries tonight and will be dynamic playmakers for this Pacifica roster. RJ Maria, the quarterback on the Pacifica side, and Vince Walea for Oxnard. The kick goes deep into the end zone for the touchback, and Pacifica will start from their own 20. And George, this is a team that loves its running backs, but there's different styles. Johnson, Sherrod, Poehler, they all bring a little bit different something to the table.
Right. Both Johnson and Poehler are bigger, stronger, more physical running backs, with Malik Sherrod being more of the speedster. I know in talking to both coaches, Coach Moon felt for them to win, they have to get their running game going. And Coach Mack on the other side defensively feels that Oxnard has to stop the power running game of the Tritons in order to win. So it's a pretty simple equation while these two offenses and defenses are on the field.
Tritons take the field in all black, wearing the black jerseys. They wore dark green before the game to warm up, and then they changed the uniforms coming out of the locker room to get started. 4 wide. The handoff goes to Alan Johnson. Johnson up into the 30, down to the 33-yard line. A 13-yard pickup for the senior, Alan Johnson. And there's some big boys on this offensive line of Avila, Chappelle, Espinoza, Ibarra, and Cifuentes, and they showed on that play that they want to run the football and make a statement all night.
Again, Johnson, big, powerful running back. The Pacifica Tritons offensive line goes 300, 250, 240, 245, and 305 pounds. So they have a big physical offensive line to match up with these running backs.
4 wide, 3 to the top of your screen. The handoff goes to Johnson again. He cuts up, nothing doing. That time a short gain of about 2.5, and coming up and making the tackle, Jaden Franco, the sophomore linebacker. And that time it was big. Gilbert Delatorre, a third-year starting D tackle, that was there to force the play inside, and then the linebackers went and cleaned it up.
Yeah, big hit there by number 23. Good message sender right off the bat here.
Yeah, Rangel, one of the top defensive players on this team. Coach John Mack, every time we talk to him, he always points out how important Nathan Rangel, the senior linebacker, is. 2nd and 7. 3-yard gain on first. It's been the Alan Johnson show so far. Back to pass is Maria. Maria gets it over near the sticks to about the 43-yard line. It appears they will have the first down. It goes to the outside to Kyrie Wilson. Gets about 8. And now it looks like they're going to say he stepped out about a yard short. Initially, the side judge had him past the sticks, and then the near side official said not quite. He stepped out first, so it will be 3rd and 1. You got to think power formation here.
This is again going to be a good physical play here, I would guess. One of the matchups to look at throughout the game here is the slot and wide receivers, especially the slot receivers against the Oxnard strong safety and outside linebackers.
3rd and 1 for the Tritons. And cleaning up and making the big hit was Gilbert Delatorre. We just mentioned him 2 plays ago, and this time he was able to beat this Pacifica offensive line, tear up the Tritons, get the tackle for loss, and that sets up a big 4th and 3. How about Delatorre just winning the battle at the line of scrimmage and then dumping the running back for the loss?
Early advantage there goes to Oxnard in that battle of stopping the running game and establishing the running game that both coaches so much want to do. So first series goes to the Yellow Jackets.
The Yellow Jackets come in 3 and 2 on the season.
Scooter Carranza, who was the punter, looked really good in practice the other day. He was booming some big ones.
Carranza, the junior, he's a kicker, kickoffs and punter, handles all the special teams. Fonts back to receive the punt, catches it at the 32, and Oxnard will start off with pretty good field position. For Oxnard, we've been able to see them now a couple times. Vince Walea, second-year starter, always seems to make good decisions, and he has weapons all around him. Harris, Waters, and Fonts, and then last time we saw them, the sophomore tight end, Tanilo Lamalu, was stepping up making plays. There's a lot of weapons, and Walea's usually a pretty heady quarterback.
Well, the big thing to look for here is, from the standpoint of the Oxnard Yellow Jackets, the Tritons are a big blitzing cover one type of football team, and they're very concerned, Coach Mack was, about how they handle all these blitzes that Pacifica will throw at you.
On first down, it will be a flip out to the right side. It's about a 6-yard gain, so a good gain on first down. Vince Walea, they're going to use him in many ways. They can move him out of the pocket, keep him in the pocket. And you mentioned in Pacifica defense, they have those Falcon position, those strong safeties that they like to kind of put in the box and then play deep. And they have a ton of defensive backs that Coach Moon believes in and trusts to go in and make plays game in and game out.
They're very deep in the secondary and at the linebacker position. They feel they have 4 players who can really play at the linebacker for the 3 linebacker spots.
2nd and 4 will be a lateral. Gets over to the left side, going down the field, inside the 40, down to the 30, tackled at the 25-yard line. A big pickup by Vincent Walea, tossing it to the wide side. And that was a huge gain from Oxnard, 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, that was a very well-executed play. Got a good block there by the wide receiver to spring the ball catcher wide open. And, again, a good play by the Yellow Jackets. And this is one of the concerns that the Tritons had was stopping the passing game, I should say. Walea, they're very, very impressed with him with his scrambling and throwing ability, and he showed it there with a good execution. Lamalu
goes in motion. 2 wide to the top of the screen. Single setback is Harris. And now the handoff goes to Xavier Harris. Harris cuts up inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line, a pickup of 4, and it will be 2nd and 6. And Xavier Harris is a guy they try to get a lot of the times to the boundaries. You want to get him to the outside and have him show his playmaking ability. There, it was more kind of between the tackles and a good gain on first down.
No, and again, you need to get out of that young man is just, again, his ability to run and pick up the tough little yards in there. I was very impressed with him when we saw him against Westlake, and he's started off well again tonight.
Man in motion is Freddie Vasquez, the junior tight end. Looking for Vasquez over his head, incomplete, just a little bit too high, and it will be 3rd and 6, upcoming at the 28-yard line, and that time it was the right call, just a little bit too much on that pass.
Right, and so far I'm very impressed with the offensive line from Oxnard. As we said before, the Tritons are noted for their blitzing and putting pressure on quarterbacks, and so far he's been clean back there. He's been under no duress, and they've done a good job picking up whatever pressure schemes the Tritons are throwing at him.
Maybe 4-down territory inside the 30-yard line. They will pitch it to the left side. It's Harris. Harris closing in on a first down. Appears to be at about the 22-yard line, and it will be an interesting spot here right near the first down sticks. It doesn't look like he quite has it. 4th and inches upcoming for the Yellow Jackets. Harris and Sanchez, the 2 rotating tailbacks, and then J.J. Ayala is out there a lot as the lead blocker. But there is a flag. It will be holding on the offense. So instead of it being 4th and inches, they will back it up, and it will be 3rd and long as it gets backed up to the 37-yard line. A loss of about 9, and it will be 3rd and 16. So how about that? Instead of 4th and 1, 3rd and 16. For the Yellow Jackets.
Well, here's where I think you have to be thinking that Walea will be looking for his great receiver, J.R. Waters, who's going to be going to Oregon next year to play football for the Ducks. Also look for screens here. They've done a nice job with screen passes throughout the season.
Waters and Fonts, the two receivers to the wide side at the bottom of your screen. They fake it to Harris. Walea takes off. Walea past the original first down marker, close to a first down, picked up about 14 yards, and it will be 4th and short. And that time, heady decision by Walea, faking the rush, keeping it, and then gaining about, ends up being 13 for 4th and 3.
Again, a little zone read type scheme there, and he read the pressure from the backside end was not coming to him, so he just kept it. Wise choice. Again, it's what you'd expect out of a guy who's now in his second year as a starting quarterback for the Yellow Jackets.
Yellow Jackets ball on the 24-yard line. 0-0 here on your Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. Oxnard and Pacifica. A Pacific View League game. Back to pass is Walea on 4th and 3. Throws it out to Vasquez. Vasquez has it inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. A pickup of about 17 yards. 1st and goal awaits the Yellow Jackets. And Vasquez that time, they went to him on the left side earlier, a little bit too high this time. You get him in motion, send him out to the right side. The defense wasn't quite in sync, and it was an easy pitch and catch.
Right, they're having a lot of success now driving the corners off the ball with the wide receivers going deep and hitting people out of the backfield. Again, very good design, very good work there by the Oxnard receivers.
1st and goal. Single back is Harris, and now the officials will stop as there is a timeout on the field. Ventura Orthopedics is proud to support the collegiate and high school athletic teams in the community. The doctors serve as team physicians for most of the high school and college sports programs in the area. Whether assisting with game injuries or cheering for players from the sidelines, the doctors at Ventura Orthopedics consider it a privilege to be a part of the team. Also, tonight's broadcast is a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports from the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com. That is subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers.
A great start for the Oxnard offense here. They're making the plays. Walea, as we said, coming into the game, has been a very good leader for the Yellow Jackets for the last 2 seasons, and he's come out on fire. He's making great reads, using his feet well, and being very patient in his decision-making in the passing game, hitting the open receivers and taking short throws that wind up being big plays.
And this is also a game, too, where you get the first lead. That changes so much about this game, especially the confidence level you build up. And Walea's been pretty much flawless. Outside of maybe one errant pass that was too high, he has been on the money, smart, and the play calling has been very good so far, too. There's just been ahead of the chains, even on 3rd and 16, a design draw. This time it will be Harris. Harris on 1st and goal, bust into the end zone for the touchdown. A 7-yard scamper by Xavier Harris, and Oxnard strikes first. And this time we gave credit to the other offensive line. We have to give credit to these Yellow Jackets big boys. They blocked up front and gave Harris a great hole.
Absolutely, and Coach Moon was very concerned about Oxnard when they go to their 2-back power set, stopping the running game out of that set, and that's what they just gave them, and they didn't come close to stopping it. Harris got in untouched, basically. So a great start for the Yellow Jackets tonight, both offensively and defensively.
Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it is through, but there are officials blowing the play dead. There appears to be a special teams penalty.
I believe the Yellow Jackets will lead a procedure.
So back him up 5 and re-kick the PAT, but a great drive for Oxnard overall. We saw Waters make big plays. Vasquez was in the mix. Harris looked good. Walea, a great run.
Okay, now in this PAT, watch number 20. He's at the bottom of the screen here. Malik Sherrod had blocked 6 kicks last year, so he's always a possibility to make a big play here in the kicking game.
Fonts is the holder. Rafael Vargas, the place kicker. Vargas sends it through. He says, "You'll back me up 5. That's okay." Oxnard leads 7-0 in the early going. And now for Pacifica, it's time for them to get the ball back. And let's discuss a little bit more about this team, because R.J. Maria, a junior signal caller, Alan Johnson, Malik Sherrod, and Quentin Puller, we discussed earlier just what they bring. But then there's a bunch of weapons at receiver that they like as well. Savon Farmer, Isaiah Moon, the coach's son, Michael Johnson, brother of Alan Johnson, they have a ton of guys that they really believe in, and this is the Pacifica offense on the year. If you just go down the list, 49 points, 42 points, 55, 34, 30. They have put up a ton of points so far every game this season.
I think the keys here in this next series is look for Johnson and Moon, the two slot receivers, to get involved in the offense. Oxnard came out and really did a good job stuffing the run, and that means their linebackers getting back in the box. So I think it's you're going to looking for these slot receivers becoming open and opening up the box for the running game a little bit.
Rafael Vargas on the kickoff. Back to return, Noel Williams, Michael Johnson, and Malik Sherrod. And will go right at the goal line for the touchback. So Sherrod unable to bring it back, and that is one thing they hope that somehow they can get some kick returns in this game. Right. I know talking to Mike Moon earlier this week, the head coach at Pacifica, he was saying a lot of teams are kicking away from our guys. They do not want our return men getting the ball. So far we've seen 2 touchbacks. It hasn't hurt the Oxnard Yellow Jackets yet.
And having a kid like Vargas, who's a 3-year starter kicker for the Yellow Jackets, is just a huge thing in terms of starting the ball at the 20 and no big momentum shift, excitement when that happens for the offense. So again, underrated but very, very important part of the game.
The Tritons back on the field. R.J. Maria. Alan Johnson. This time the handoff will go to Quentin Puller in for the first time. Puller's going to move that pile forward all the way up to about the 27-yard line. A good pickup of 6.5 or 7, and we'll set up second and short.
Yeah, great push there by the offensive line, and that's something that, again, the Tritons very much needed to get their offense going and get a little bit more confidence going after that drive. They need to answer here with a good drive and hopefully get some points out of this drive.
So we see Puller and Sherrod in the backfield. R.J. Maria, the quarterback. Malik Sherrod, the tailback, 4 wide. Back to pass is Maria on second and short. It's complete to Farmer. Farmer has the first down past the 35-yard line, and that time it's a quick comeback, able to get the first down, move the chains. And after their first possession, when they had the punt, that's a good start. Just get your quarterback, fill the defense, take what they give you.
Absolutely. You know, I want to mention, too, we talked about this being a game, a rivalry-type game, and bragging rights and all that stuff. For the left guard, number 54 for these Tritons, Quincy Chappelle, this is a family game. His cousin is the Oxnard running back, Xavier Harris, and his stepbrother is the Oxnard DB, Dom Brown. So they'll be talking about this during the Thanksgiving break, I'm sure.
On first down, nothing doing, a loss of 1 for Malik Sherrod. And yeah, anytime you get that where the blood is part of the battle, where you have brothers and stepbrothers and people you see at dinner every night, and now you get to go play against them, that adds another element that you don't get a lot of times. A lot of times they're on your own team, so it's not only bragging rights when you see them at a camp or on the field. You get to brag when you get home tonight.
Oh, yeah. It's a big part of it, and it makes for a little bit more excitement and hard play.
Second and 11. 7-0. Yellow Jackets lead past the midway point of the first quarter. On second and 11, it will be about a 2-yard pickup. Another suffocating play from the defensive line, and that was Jacob Murillo coming in, the nose guard, making a play. And it will be 3rd and long.
Yeah, right now, and this is not a good passing situation being in 3rd and long, but I think the Tritons are going to have to come out throwing on 1st and 2nd down a little bit. There was 10 of the 11 Oxnard players went on that tackle. So they've got to loosen up. Now, right now, the secondary is loosened up a little bit on a 3rd and long. But, again, I think they're going to have to throw to have a chance to move the ball here.
3rd and 9. Maria back to pass. Pocket collapses, and he is sacked in the backfield at the 36-yard line. And it was 54, Gilbert Delatorre, for the second time tonight, ending a possession, getting a big tackle in the backfield, and another punt upcoming for Carranza and this Pacifica offense.
Again, very prepared. That's all you can say about Oxnard. They have come to play. They've controlled everything. They've done everything that Coach Max has wanted them to do in this game so far. And the Tritons are going to have to get something going soon. They need some kind of a turnover, big play maybe here in the kicking game to get things going, get some momentum on their backs.
Carranza to punt. Back to receive the punt is Aaron Fonts. Will be a short kick up to about the 42. Fonts fumbles the football, and now the Pacifica, they can't advance it as it wasn't a possession. but Fonts unable to make the play, and it will be Tritons football inside Oxnard territory. And the first time it looked like Fonts kind of nonchalant caught it in front of his body. This time he tries to do the same. It went off his fingertips, and the Tritons were all over it.
Again, we said they needed to get some kind of a play here, and they did. They got a big turnover. Unfortunately, there's a flag. I think there's going to be a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct perhaps on one of the Triton players who got a little bit excited and probably got a little bit too verbal out there.
Yeah, once they established possession, they took off, and the flag was instantly thrown, and they're calling personal foul on the Tritons. So it will back them up out of Oxnard territory. But with that said, it ends up being a first down nonetheless, and we just mentioned all the special teams plays that this Pacifica's team's capable of doing on their return game. It ends up being the Oxnard return game that coughs one up, and Pacifica takes advantage of it.
And they again, that's a huge penalty, though. It cost them about 15 yards of territory here, and that's something you just can't have. Again, make sure our viewers know in high school football, I think in all levels of football, if there's a muff punt, you can recover it, but you cannot advance it. So that's why they got the ball back at about the 40 to begin with before the penalty.
Yeah, unable to corral it was Fonts. Pacifica takes over, 1st and 10, up near midfield. It was a quick pass to the outside, caught by Michael Johnson, and a good gain on 1st down, 2nd and short.
Right, that's what we were talking about. Throw the ball on 1st and 2nd down, get the ball to your slot receivers, start to force outside linebackers, strong safety out of the box, and hopefully open up the running game a little bit for you. So this is a good adjustment, I think, by the Triton offensive coordinator.
Alan Johnson, single back. 3 wide receivers to the top, including Daniel Pierce. On 2nd and 2, the handoff goes kept by Maria. Maria fakes it to Johnson, slides forward at the 43. Fooled me for a second. I thought he gave the inside handoff, and instead Maria waits till that defense collapses, keeps it, reads the defense correctly, and picks up the first.
Again, a very, very good fake. I was with you. I thought the running back had the ball. Defensive end collapsed down on that. He thought he had the ball as well, and Maria made the good read and got himself a nice little gain there.
That's where it's nice. If you are a second-year starter at this point, you're past the midway season, you are very much a veteran, and he was able to read the defense correctly, pick up about 7 yards, and move the chains. 1st and 10, Pacifica in Oxnard territory for the first time. A handoff goes to Johnson. Johnson is met at the line of scrimmage. A short gain of 1. It will be 2nd and 9. And we've seen Johnson, we've seen Sherrod, we've seen Puller. So all 3 backs have already been involved. And on the outside, they love their weapons. Savon Farmer's made a play. Pierce is another guy they like. And then you mentioned the slot guys haven't really been in the passing game yet. But before the end of the night, Moon, Michael Johnson, and Kyrie Wilson are all weapons.
Johnson had a pass earlier in the previous drive. I think what they need to keep doing is getting the ball to their slots, and the read option type play, which will take away a little bit of the power blocking. Oh, here we go.
2nd and 9. The pass goes outside. It's Pierce. Pierce catches it in the red zone. Goes forward for the touchdown. 42 yards, Daniel Pierce. And that time Maria read the defense, understood that Pierce was in single man-to-man coverage, found his receiver, and Pierce streaks into the end zone. 1 extra point away from tying the game, and Daniel Pierce steps up in a big way.
Great pass, great execution. Threw it over the top of the defensive back when the receiver had a step on him and laid it right in full stride, never had to slow down for it. Great play to get him right back in the ballgame. So again, it came off of a special teams break, and take him anywhere you can. So the momentum now I think has gone back a little bit towards the Tritons, obviously.
Snap back, hold down, kick is up and through by Scooter Carranza, and the home team, the Pacifica Tritons, strike to tie the game. And we've seen both quarterbacks now, when they're given time, they've been able to find their receivers, and that was a beautiful throw by Maria, and then Pierce separates from the defense and goes in for the score. You have to really like the way they bounced back there.
Yeah, they
got the score.
This whole thing coming into tonight's game after last week's game for Pacifica, this has been a bounce-back week for them. Even though they beat Thousand Oaks last week, Thousand Oaks is 0-6 now on the season. Coach Moon said the kids felt like they'd lost the game, not won it. So I think it was a good wake-up call for them, and probably getting this first score by Oxford probably woke them up again. So the battle continues, as it should, in what seems to be a Pacific View League championship game at this point.
A league game, a crosstown game. We've mentioned the family aspect of this game in terms of a few players. This is a huge one, a rivalry game for both schools. Kicking off will be Carranza. Back to receive deep, Harris and Fonts. Fonts fumbled the previous punt return, and Xavier Harris, we've already seen him break a 7-yard touchdown earlier in this game. The kick will go right at the goal line for the touchback, and maybe a fortunate bounce there that it wasn't at the 1-yard line, and Harris would have to get it. But Oxnard will start off at the 20-yard line.
And both teams with very, very good kickers. Both kickers, Carranza for the Tritons and Vargas for Oxnard, are both 3-year starters at the kicking position. They both handled the kicks and the punts.
I feel like you always want to see that as a coach. If you can get one guy to come in, be the specialist, kick off, kicking, punting, it does kind of give a little bit of relief for a lot of these coaches.
Yep, absolutely.
1st and 10, it's Waters going in motion up to the top of your screen. J.R. Waters is the big 6'3" Oregon wide receiver commit.
You got man-to-man coverage with a safety over the top.
It's going to be a low snap. Walea's going to roll to his right, throws it to Harris, incomplete. Walea did a great job just to pick up the football, move away from the defense, and nearly get it to an open running back. That was not a good snap, and Walea tried to make the most of it. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
Good athlete at quarterback in Walea. Does a lot of great things with his head and his feet. One minor thing there is he had a lot of pressure in his face. He kind of lowered his arm and threw a little bit of a sidearm type throw to get it away from the pass rushers. But unfortunately, it was a little too hot to handle for the receiver.
Fonts, Vasquez, and Lamalu, the 3 receivers. At the bottom of your screen, at the top is J.R. Waters. Single back is Harris. Walea will keep it. Walea has the 1st down, nearing midfield up to the 43-yard line. A pickup of 22 yards. Move the chains, 1st down Yellow Jackets. And we saw on one end, Maria have a great quarterback keep. Now on the other end, we see Walea do the same.
The defensive end for the Tritons is just not staying at home. He's so excited about going to make a play on the running back, he's forgetting to stay there. And again, if you can just stay there the whole time and Walea never carries the ball, maybe you don't make any tackles, you've done your job. He's one of their best athletes. You need to keep his feet out of the game.
It's a pitch on 1st down, a short gain. 2nd and long awaits the Yellow Jackets. And we are nearing the closing minutes here of the 1st quarter. It's been a fast-moving quarter. Both teams that like to run the football, be physical, try to win that battle of the line of scrimmage. It's been a great 1st quarter, 7-7 locked up in this big Pacific View League rivalry game. 2nd and 9. Ball on the Yellow Jackets 42. Empty set. Now in motion is Fonts. Fonts gets it. Fonts goes to cut up past the 45, near midfield, up to the 49-yard line. A great effort by Fonts to pick up a few extra yards, and now it will be 3rd and 2 for the Yellow Jackets, and I think that's also smart. Fonts had the fumble earlier on the punt return. Get it to him when he can make a play, make a few positive yards, and now get in 3rd and short.
Great blocking there. J.J. Ayala, fullback for Oxnard, did a beautiful job as a lead blocker on that play.
3rd and 2. Ball is at the Yellow Jackets' 49-yard line. Harris is the lone back. The handoff goes to Harris, and he has met in the backfield. Nothing doing, and that time it was Dylan Ibarra coming up. He's wearing 53 tonight, but they've had to shift him around a little bit. And then the big nose guard, Armando Cifuentes, also in the mix. And that is a huge stop on 3rd and 2, a loss of 1, and the Oxnard Yellow Jackets will punt.
And we're going to see a good return man here now with some space probably to get a chance to make a play in the kicking game. Again, watch for number 20. He's down at the bottom of your screen here. Malik Sherrod, who's blocked. I said he blocked 6 kicks last year. I'm not sure how many he's blocked this year, but he's certainly something they have to account for.
And they love the returns. It's Noel Williams who will be back to return the punt. And punting for Oxnard is Rafael Vargas. Snap is taken by Vargas. It's now drilled all the way back to the 16-yard line. Williams calls the fair catch, so a good punt. That time it ends up being about 36 yards with no return, and it will be the Tritons backed up inside their own 20 as the 1st quarter winds to an end. 20 doctors with 5 locations in Ventura County, all with one goal in mind, to get you back in the game. The Ventura Orthopedics specializes in sports medicine, general orthopedics, pain management, pediatric, and MRI. Ventura Orthopedics offers exceptional therapy services featuring 26 highly skilled physical and occupational therapists. Learn more at venturaortho.com or call to schedule an appointment at 800-698-1280. That's 800-698-1280 or visit venturaortho.com. 7-7 is your score as we get set to start the second quarter, and it has been a back-and-forth game. Both Oxnard and Pacifica locked in a battle, and we expect this to be a battle all game as both teams have shown ability this year to make big plays, get in scoring position, and have a ton of playmakers all over the field.
Exactly. I'm very pleased to see the defense for Pacifica come back after that first time they got gouged, and they played a solid series there.
On 1st and 10, whipped down and sacked is R.J. Maria, and it was Darius Wade coming in, but there is a flag. Now you wonder if maybe he grabbed the face mask when he threw down Maria. It did look like he was whipped around quickly, but sometimes that's just a hard tackle.
Yeah, they're discussing this because the guy who called it was pretty far away from the play.
Nope.
He waved it off. Okay.
So Darius Wade gets the sack, and they love their defensive ends. Chris Lavelle and Darius Wade are two guys that Coach Mack relies on, understands that they are different style of players, and then you throw in that linebacker Nathan Rangel to clean up everything on the second level. And the game we did against Westlake about a month ago, all four defensive backs were in on a turnover play. So Don Brown, R.J. Aranda, Sal Gutierrez, and Carlos Barboza all are playmakers on the back end. 2nd and 20. It's handed off inside. Not much doing as this Oxnard defense wins the battle with the line of scrimmage again, and now it is 3rd and very long, exactly where you want this offense to be if you're Oxnard.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that R.J. Maria didn't keep the ball. That defensive end for Oxnard screamed down the line to stop the running play going to the opposite side. That should be a keep read for Maria. See if he takes advantage of it after this drive, probably.
3rd and 15. Ball is on the Pacifica 13-yard line. The receiver to the bottom of your screen is Kyrie Wilson. They go 4 wide. The running back is Johnson. It is over the middle, incomplete. That time a dangerous throw intended for Michael Johnson. There was a safety coming over late, unable to make the pick, but that time the throw was not crisp and nearly a turnover, and now it's 4th and 15. Pacifica has to punt once again, and that defense really held firm on all 3 plays.
Yeah, I like the call, though, even though it was an incomplete. The slot receiver Johnson had beaten his linebacker. Had he made a better throw and made the catch, probably would have been a first down or darn close to it.
Carranza punting from his own goal line, and it is Fonts once again back to receive the punt at the 40. The punt barely gets off. Fonts is going to move away from it. It's a heck of a punt all the way up to midfield, so it ends up being a 36-yard punt with no return, and that time a little bit out of danger, able to get the punt off, and now still good field position, but not as good as what we probably thought it would be a few seconds ago.
Right. So the big play there was the sack that just got Pacifica completely off schedule after that first down loss of yardage. Again, great field position for the Yellow Jackets. See if they can take advantage this time.
Yellow Jackets start off at midfield. 7-7, early second quarter. The handoff goes inside. Nothing doing. It was Nick Sanchez getting his first carry tonight. A loss of 1. It will be 2nd and 11. And once again, we saw Ben Mendos making a play. Albert Franco was in the mix. The Pacifica defense was all over that one.
There's been some real hitting going on inside the box there. So it's a physical game, as expected by these two clubs. Big physical players.
J.R. Waters, the receiver, down to the wide side of the field at the bottom of your screen.
He's drawn man-to-man defense again with the safety over the top.
Man in motion is Lamalu. The handoff goes to Harris. Harris gets back to the original line of scrimmage, but not much more, only a short gain of 1, and it was Mendez in for another tackle in the backfield. 3rd and 10 upcoming for Oxnard.
Now for the Yellow Jackets, much like we saw in the Westlake game, They are trying to take out the receiver, number 1, who's going to Oregon.
J.R. Waters.
J.R. Waters. They're pretty much taking him out of the passing game by their alignment, having him man-to-man with a safety behind. So the other receivers are going to have to pick up the pace in the passing game, I would say.
Trips formation. The wide side. Now it's Waters trying to go on a crossing route. Incomplete. That time, looked like the umpire might have been in the way, and Waters is talking to him almost like kind of got me away from the quarterback. I think he was intending for Waters, and just miscommunication. The officials there, and incomplete nonetheless, and a good stop for Pacifica.
Good stop for Pacifica, but I'm very surprised that they're not getting more pressure on the quarterback. Wailea has as much time as he needs back there, and that's not a good thing in the long run given his athletic ability.
3 and out and 0 yards on that possession. Vargas to punt.
Ooh.
Vargas going to drill that all the way. Williams catches it at the 9, backpedaling towards the end zone. Now he cuts up past the 20, out of bounds near the 20-yard line. They will mark him off at about the 22. So a good return by Williams, a little bit dangerous going back towards his goal line, but that was a heck of a punt. And we're seeing 2 punters tonight, 2 kickers that have really been effective and have helped their teams change field position rather than sometimes in high school it gives the team great field position. Both Vargas and Carranza have been effective.
They are, again, it's very, very hidden yardage during the course of the game, but both kicking games have been very sharp, minus the miscue by the Oxnard punt returner. In practice this week, got a chance to watch the Tritons. They had a whole bunch of trick plays, and here comes one right now. They were getting ready for odd sets and odd plays. See what they have come up with here.
The Tritons going with a trick play, sending out linemen all the way to the wide side of the field. It's going to be a stretch play. Nothing doing as the handoff was to Malik Sherrod. They tried to spread out this defense and hope their playmaker would cut up into space, and it was good defense, fundamentally sound, and a gain of maybe a half yard.
Great pursuit by the Yellow Jackets. They did not look like they were at all confused by what was going on. They kind of knew their assignments and where to line up and where to go on that thing. So again, the great defense.
4 wide, Pierce, who scored a touchdown earlier, the bottom of your screen, matched up with Dom Brown. The back is Sherrod. It will be Maria moving to his right, throws it downfield. It's batted up in the air a few times, incomplete, nearly intercepted. Oxnard, Tony Lopez, the linebacker, got his hand up, tipped it, and then it looked like it was anyone's ball and ends up falling to the turf. A fortunate break for Pacifica, 3rd and 9.
An ill-advised pass. The receiver had 2 defenders right by him, and he tried to force that ball in there. Very fortunate they're getting to come back for a 3rd down play and not lining up for a 1st down defensive play.
3rd and 9. It's been a defensive second quarter so far in the early portions of this quarter. Both teams have come up and gotten the opposing offenses into 3rd and long. And that is where, if you're a D coordinator, you have to love your positioning. The back is Malik Sherrod, lined up to Maria's right. Maria will throw to the wide side, incomplete. There is a flag down in the backfield. It was incomplete, and now it will depend on who the flag is on.
I think it's going to be a pass interference on the defense there.
If that is the case, it's going to be holding on the defense. Either way, it will give the Tritons a 1st down. They only needed 9. The holding gives them 10, and the Tritons will gain the 1st down on the penalty. A couple scores to go over. Scoreless first quarters. Calabasas and Westlake are tied 0-0 after the first quarter. Also, Agora and St. Genevieve also scoreless after the first quarter. And Ventura and Rio Mesa are scoreless after the first quarter. Another one, St. Bonaventure leading Newberry Park 6-0 at the end of the first. So there's a few area scores for you. Camarillo leads Lakewood 7-0 going into the second. 1st and 10 for the Tritons. A little bit of an awkward handoff, and making the most of it is Malik Sherrod, and then he tries to cut it up the outside, nothing doing. Closing in and making the play was Nathan Rangel, and it will be a pickup of 3, 2nd and 7.
They're a little bit of a mix-up in the backfield to begin with. The ball carrier was able to bounce outside and pick up a couple yards. Could have been a disastrous negative yard play had he not made that nice cut at the line of scrimmage.
Wilson comes in at receiver. Sherrod steps out for a breather. It'll be I formation here for Pacifica. Haven't seen that too many times tonight. It's going to be a handoff up the gut. A pickup of about 3 yards, and will set up 3rd and short. That time, the handoff for Pacifica went to Alex Rocha. So Rocha made the first one, and he's a guy who mainly plays a lot of defense, is Rocha at linebacker. They put him in there in power formation, and he picks up a few.
Very unusual set nowadays. We had a 2-back I formation, quarterback under center, and a tight end. I've heard of that position, but I've never actually seen it, I don't believe. So a little bit of old-time football here, trying to get things going. Again, lots of sets for the Triton offense.
3rd and 4, and now there is a flag. Offsides on Oxnard, and so for the second time this possession, Oxnard on 3rd down commits a penalty and gives the first down away. It has to frustrate any coaching staff, and this isn't week 0, week 1 where this stuff happens. This is now mid-season, league game, rivalry game. You can't afford to give that team a free first down.
On the first penalty, the holding in the secondary, that's just a football play that happens, but jumping off sides on 3rd down, that's a mental mistake that does drive coaches crazy.
1st and 10. Pacifica ball at their own 44-yard line. 7-7, midway through the second quarter. Rocha with it again. Rocha battles up close to a first down. Appears to be right near the sticks. It's either about 9.5 or 10, and that was another tough physical run for the senior.
That was an impressive play right there. The offensive line got some bodies on bodies. They got some good push, and Rocha did attack that hole crisply.
Rocha with a couple of nice carries, and we discussed Johnson, Sherrod, and Puller before the game, but Rocha is a guy, gets a lot of playing time at linebacker on the defensive side, and they feel like tonight they maybe need a spark or somebody to step up in this backfield, and Coach Mike Moon is rolling with the senior. 4 wide. Rocha gets it again, has the first down. Rocha busts forward inside the 40, down near the 30-yard line. That will be a big pickup, another first down, and it's been power formation up the middle between those big bodies on the line, and that time a great push from the inside, the guards in the center, and Rocha was able to run behind them and pick up almost 20.
And that was a nice counter play, pulled the backside tackle and backside guard. Here it is again to the other side.
Rocha not able to get separation on this play. Coming in and making the tackle for Oxnard was Darius Wade. And it's a short gain, but that time the defense was able to adjust and get the stop.
The problem on that play, that's the backside defensive end making it, chasing the pullers. That's where Maria should be reading that player. And when he sees him going down the line, he should keep it and get big yardage. So he's got to make that proper decision when he sees that end closed down. If not, you're going to take away any chance of a cutback type play for the running back.
Pierce coming in at wideout. In the backfield now is Malik Sherrod, the quickest of their tailbacks. The handoff goes to Sherrod. Sherrod up the middle, a big gain after getting stopped on first down. It was about an 8-yard gain and will be 3rd and 2 inside the 25. And clock now winds to 4:30 remaining in the second quarter. This has been a very fast-moving half, and a lot of the reason why both teams have loved running the football. 3rd and 2. Time the handoff goes to Sherrod. Sherrod bust out wide. Inside the 10, inside the 5. Sherrod crosses the goal line. Touchdown, 29 yards out. Malik Sherrod gets the score, and Pacifica gets the lead, their first lead of the game.
Same play. They ran the same play, 5 straight plays, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, and the finisher to the right. Sherrod had that nice little burst to get outside and make things happen. I still think that they need to look at Maria keeping the football in that play from time to time to get a big play as well.
R.J. Maria, his second touchdown drive of the ball game, hooked up with receiver Daniel Pierce earlier for a score, and this time from 29 yards out, it was the shifty, fast, quick Malik Sherrod. The extra point is up, and it is through as Scooter Carranza gives Pacifica their largest lead of the ball game, 14-7, with 4:16 remaining here in the second quarter. Tonight's broadcast is a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers. That's subscribe.vcstar.com.
Well, probably the most excited people in the stands were just sitting down in front of us. That's Malik Sherrod's family. Mom, I believe, with his away jersey on, and they were pretty excited by that run, as was the entire Pacifica student body.
And that was one he originally went up the middle and then used his speed to bounce it outside, made a couple guys miss, and scored right now, the go-ahead touchdown as Pacifica takes the lead for the first time. Carranza's had 2 touchbacks so far. Now it will be a third as it goes into the end zone. And that's a good kickoff, and it will be the Oxnard offense coming out and for the first time tonight trailing when they get the ball.
We'll see what Coach Mack has up his sleeve this time. I think they still need to keep Wailea active with his ability to run and make some plays that way, perhaps roll him out a little bit. Looks like the Pacifica defense has stiffened up a little bit inside in terms of the run, so that might be something to look at. Maybe the read option type plays outside would be something good as a counter to that stronger play inside by the Tritons.
Yeah, and we've seen both quarterbacks tonight. They've shown the ability at times to keep it when the defensive end crashes down, and then other times they've missed out on it. On first down, it's Harris. Harris with the big gain, has the first down, up past the 30 to the 33-yard line, a pickup of 13, and a quality gain on first down.
Great cutback by Harris that time. The defensive end here did a good job staying at home for Wailea, and Harris got the ball going to his right and cut it all the way back to his left.
But there's a flag, and it will bring the ball back. So instead of a 13-yard gain, some laundry on the field, and it will back Oxnard all the way up to the 15-yard line. So it will be 1st and 15 awaiting the Yellow Jackets. Another huge penalty.
That's just hurting completely. Right now, the penalties that Oxnard is committing, both offensively and defensively, plus the 1 turnover in the kicking game, have been the deciding factors in getting our score to where it is at the moment.
3:50 remaining in the second quarter. Yellow Jackets on the road trailing 14-7. Oxnard comes in 3-2 on the season. Pacifica trying to remain undefeated tonight. Wailea completes it to the right side. It's Vasquez. Vasquez up past the 30, up past right around the 30-yard line. And there is a flag thrown.
Possible horse collar.
If it is, it will give Oxnard a first down. They are marked about 3 yards short of the sticks, but there is the flag down on the field.
The Tritons have had a problem all night long here with people slipping out into the flats and having people wide open, catching short passes and then adding another 10, 15 yards of run after catch.
They are calling the horse collar penalty. So after a pickup of about 11, add 15 to the mix, and this ball will get brought all the way up past the 40-yard line, and it will be Oxnard with plenty of time up closing in on midfield. A couple other score updates for you. Santa Clara and Malibu tied 14-14 heading to the half. Also heading to the second quarter, Moore Park leads Thousand Oaks 7-0. And also heading to the second, Buena ahead of Channel Islands 14-7. Follow us on VCS Preps on Twitter all night, constantly giving score updates, and vcstar.com for the latest games and score recaps. On 1st and 10, it's a good gain by Wailea, and that's his toughness. Wailea shows sometimes the ability to stay in the pocket and he'll get hit there, and then other times he's willing to go out, run, and lower his shoulder, pick up another yard, and take on a defensive player.
Yeah, problem there was Tritons had very little, if any, outside contained pressure on him on the offense's left side, and that's exactly where Wailea was able to escape and make his nice little game.
2nd and 5. Oxnard down 14-7 here at Pacifica High School. The handoff is to Harris, and he is stopped in the backfield. And there's Rocha. We mentioned him on the offensive side, stepping in, making a few plays. And now on the defensive side, Alex Rocha, another impact play. He's been all over the field tonight.
They had a nice blitz there by Rocha. The end worked to the outside. He came to the inside and was able to just get through scot-free and adjusted his path to get to the running back and make a nice negative yardage play.
And it's now 3rd and 8, so that is a loss of 3 yards on the carry for Harris. And another passing down awaits the Yellow Jackets.
Look for, again, backs in the flat, and let's see if we can get some pressure here from the Tritons onto the Yellow Jackets.
And Waters at the top of your screen. Definitely a playmaker for this Oxnard team. It will be Walea keeping his head upfield, fires it, and it's complete to Fonts. Fonts makes the grab at the 43-yard line. That is a pickup of 14 yards, and on 3rd and 8, a huge play, and Walea keeping his vision, finding the receiver, and then Fonts finding an open spot on that defense and making the play. That was an all-around big senior to junior hookup.
The big thing there was Walea releasing the ball just a half step before he crossed the line of scrimmage. Very heady play by the senior signal caller.
14-7, Oxnard with the ball down 7, under 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Fonts in motion, it's a high snap. Walea corrals it, now will throw it deep. There's 2 defensive backs in the area. Pierce cannot come up with the interception. Incomplete, a fortunate break for Oxnard. 2nd and 10, Yellow Jackets, and that time Pierce was back there. It appeared like he was going to make the pick, unable to bring it in. Great coverage, forced throw. And now it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, but the high snap was not a good play that Walea saved, and then but he did throw when he threw it deep. There were 2 defenders on the 1 receiver. So again, fortunately, no one caught the ball for their offense, or they would have turned that thing over.
Yeah, Pierce and Moon. Pierce, one of the free safeties, and then Isaiah Moon, one of the corners. And there is a timeout called here on the field. Ventura Orthopedics has one goal, to get you back in the game. The doctors are well-versed in the special orthopedics needs of both the amateur and professional athlete. Many of their physicians currently serve as team doctors for most of the area high schools and community colleges. Learn more at venturaortho.com today or call to schedule an appointment at 800-698-1280. Another score update, St. Bonaventure leading Newbury Park 14-0 midway through the second quarter. 2nd and 10, Oxnard with the ball. Down 14-7, Walea along with Xavier Harris in the backfield. 4 wide, Waters goes in motion. Low snap, handoff to Harris. Harris is going to pick up about 6 yards. A good gain on 2nd down. The clock continues to move. And another poor snap. One was high, this one low. And Walea has shown good ability to pick the ball up, not panic, and set the team up.
He's done well with that. The only problem is that you keep doing these bad snaps. Sooner or later, one's going to get away from you and force a turnover or a big loss of yardage. And this is one thing that neither club needs is to try and get into really, really long 2nd and 3rd down situations.
3rd and 4. Ball was on the Pacifica 36-yard line.
Yeah, the Triton defense just really needs to come up with some kind of a big play, turnover, big hit, something like this to stem the tide here.
This time 3 wide, and then Harris is sent to the wide side. It's going to be a short gain. Instead of it 3rd and 4, we're looking at about 4th and 2, awaiting the Yellow Jackets. Walea, quarterback keeper, and that time they wanted to spread the defense, send Harris, and now another timeout called by the Oxnard Yellow Jackets. 4th and 2. What do you do here?
Well, I think it depends on how many timeouts they have left, which I'm not really sure just offhand. But if they've got another timeout, I'd say try and get your best running back behind your best blockers, or perhaps a play-action pass off that, and then use your timeout to kick a field goal, or perhaps then take your shot.
And then you have to think one of these times. Now, we know the defense has done a good job of having the safety over on Waters' side. But with his height and his athleticism, maybe try one deep here and see if he can just separate and make a play. And if not, there's not much time left, and they have to go quite the distance.
Yeah, it's almost like you say, if they do try and force it into that, even if they pick it off, it's probably as good as a punt would have been anyway. So there's that possibility of going to your best receiver in this situation. But I think if the Tritons play the way they've been playing on him, it's really not the place you want to go. He's double covered fairly well by these 2 players, and they're going to give you that look again here with number 3 in his face and number 20 Sherrod playing over the top of him.
And Noel Williams has been locked up on him all night. 4th and 2, play action. Walea back to pass, going deep. It is incomplete, but there's 2 flags down, and they will call pass interference. Isaiah Moon, that time, a little bit of contact as they intended for Fonts, and it will give the Oxnard Yellow Jackets a first down. And a heads-up play, you try to find your receiver downfield. And if you're the defense, though, here with only 30 seconds left, if you think you're beat, it's not always the worst decision to try to reach in, knowing it's better than giving up 6.
It's not an NFL spot of the foul type of play, so that's true. The defense did a really nice job there. They were trying to sneak a back out into the flat, and the defensive end on the top side of the screen was able to knock that receiver off course and took that away. But again, Wailea, headsy player, knew that was taken away and took his shot deep at that point.
1st and 10 for Oxnard, 31 seconds remaining. Ball was on the 20-yard line. Just on the tip of the red zone. J.R. Waters once again matched up with Noel Williams, the cornerback for the Tritons. Pacifica leads 14-7, a Pacific View League game, a rivalry game cross town here in Oxnard, California. The Tritons in the black, Oxnard in the road white. In motion is Fonts. Fakes it to Fonts. Now it's Wailea moving to his left. Wailea will take off. The ball remains in his right hand. He picks up about 8 yards. It will be 2nd and 2. Clock continues to roll, and now another timeout called by the Yellow Jackets.
Pacifica continuing to have problems with the outside contain on the right side of the defense, and Wailea has exploited that now a couple of times. They need to shore that up. You don't want to have that kid being able to run and pick up 20 yards every time that happens. So they must get someone, defensive end, outside backer, forcing pressure there. The other big thing that's really surprised me tonight is that Coach Moon is known for loving to blitz and loving to bring pressure on people. And up to this point, Wailea has been back there with plenty of time. I think he feels very comfortable in the pocket. He doesn't feel any immediate pressure because there hasn't been any to this point.
Yeah, Wailea has been able to stay relatively clean in that pocket. His 2 big weapons on the outside are Waters and Fonts. Loves going to the tight ends. Freddie Vasquez has factored in quite a bit today. And then Xavier Harris as the lead tailback. But it's to be 2nd and maybe 2.5, so it's a short yardage, but only 19 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. And you got to think you need some points here. You're down 14-7. Last thing you want to do is get yourself out of field goal range and squander an opportunity.
Yeah, I would think that we're looking at pass here just from the standpoint. I know we've just used 2 back-to-back timeouts, and I think they used one earlier, so I believe that Oxnard's out of timeouts. So I would think you have to throw the football here, where at least if it's an incomplete, the clock stops and you have a chance. Get out of bounds if you can, if you're not going to get a score.
3 wide, all to the top of your screen. It's Lamalu, Waters, and Fonts. Wailea back to pass. They have Fonts moving in. They will attempt to go to Lamalu towards the corner. Incomplete. That time a nice throw by Wailea. Got it near his playmaker's hands, but Lamalu unable to bring it in. 3rd and short with 12 seconds remaining.
Not too bad a coverage here by, I think it was Moon, number 5,
yes.
I think, coming back. Yeah. He did a pretty good job covering that thing. They were trying to set up a wide receiver screen and have a go route off that. And he didn't bite for it and stayed back and was in the way.
3rd and 2. Ball just outside of the 10-yard line. 12.9 remaining in the 2nd quarter.
Again, the Tritons need to get pressure on Wailea. He's just too smooth back there, too calm. You need to get some kind of heat on him.
Vince Wailea back to pass. Clock now winds under 10 seconds. Wailea will throw it out of bounds as his intended target was Xavier Harris, the running back. And with 7 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter, the special teams will come in and Rafael Vargas will attempt about a 29-yard field goal to try to cut into this Tritons lead.
I would have to say, even if he makes this, it's been a successful series for the Triton defense. Again, Wailea that time had a little bit of pressure from his left side. You probably saw his footwork kind of get off kilter there for a second before he threw, and that probably helped cause the errant pass.
29-yard attempt for the senior Rafael Vargas. Fonts is the holder. Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and the kick is through. And Rafael Vargas cuts the lead to 14-10 with just about 5 seconds remaining. I don't think they put the clock up initially, and now they're running some time off here in the final seconds of this 2nd quarter. It was a made 29-yard field goal. and a big kick for Vargas.
Absolutely.
You get some points,
Absolutely.
but like you said, George, this is a Pacifica defense that rose to the occasion, got the offense off the field, and you, generally speaking, win a lot of games when you can keep an offense out of the end zone and have them kick.
Sure, and again, you feel a lot better going in here if everything remains the same at 14-10 as opposed to being 14-14 and you just gave up a tying touchdown. So a little bit of a victory there for the Triton defense. But a pretty good drive again, and my concern for Pacifica is they have to do a better job against Wailea. He's just too good an athlete to allow to be back there constantly with no pressure. They got a little pressure on that last defensive play, but Wailea will rip your heart out if you're not careful. He's a great high school football player.
Now, I have to think here, with the dangerous return men in Johnson and Sherrod, probably you don't want to kick it anywhere near them with just 4 seconds remaining in this quarter.
I think a pooch kick, make somebody else handle the ball and probably kill the clock would be a wise thing.
Vargas has been great kicking it through the end zone, but that does put the risk in play that you don't quite get it there and you let one of the return men get it.
Squib kick would be a wise choice too here.
They will kick it a little bit low and quick. It goes through the end zone as Sherrod was unable to pick it up, and so with 4 seconds left, it will be the Pacifica Tritons taking over, up 4. Most likely here, just take a knee and get to the half, up half a touchdown.
Yeah, Vargas's kick was kind of a hybrid. It was too high to be a squib kick and too low to be a pooch kick, and had a little bit too much mustard on it. But the result's okay. The ball's at the 20-yard line with basically one play to go here, so I wouldn't be surprised if they don't just take a knee here.
Yeah, and it almost looked like in some way the old toe poke sometimes, where it doesn't go that high, but it gets a decent distance. The lone back is Alan Johnson. It does look like he is lined up in what would be a victory formation here, as more than likely RJ Maria will take a knee and head to the half with a 14-10 lead. That is exactly what the Tritons do, and we will step aside. Kent Brown, George Contreras on the call from Pacifica High School. You are watching the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. It's halftime. Pacifica leads Oxnard 14-10.
Correction, that score is 14-10. Pacifica still leads 14-10. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Triton Marching Band and Color Guard under the direction of Kathy Rogers. The band and guard is under the field direction of drum majors Rosa Contreras and Generate Transfiguration. Assistant drum majors Tatiana Hernandez and Michelle Landeros, and color guard captain Natalie Mafia. And now for your halftime entertainment, Triton Marching Band and Color Guard proudly present two Latin pieces, El Zorro featuring Alexi Becerra in Color Guard and El Campeon, the champion. All right, let's hear it for the Triton Marching Band and Color Guard. And now let's hear it for the Pacifica High School Cheer Squad. Let's hear it for the Pacifica High School Cheer Squad. Pacifica Baseball is now selling $1 tacos. If you'd like some tacos, $1 tacos from Pacifica Baseball. Also, Cross Country is selling tamales. Pacifica High School would like to welcome back old friend and former Tritons, current Oxnard High School Athletic Director, Jaime Moreno. Good to see you again, Jaime. Don't forget, Pacifica Girls Basketball selling $5 wings. Support PHS ASB by stopping by the Chick-fil-A booths in the stadium or going to Buffalo Wild Wings after the game. The winner of tonight's game will take possession of the coveted Gonzales Road Sign Trophy. I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Pacifica High School Athletics Booster Club, Marketplace in Camarillo, Tony's Grill in Ventura, Performance Physical Therapy, Realtor Brian Jules, Seaside Realty, Results that Move You, Callender's House of Glass for locations in Camarillo and Santa Barbara for all your glass and screen needs. Thank our football meal sponsors, the Olive Garden and BJ's Restaurant. And a special thank you to the Pacifica Football Parent Support Group for the team feeds and all the game day help. Winner of the 50-50 ticket, take out your 50-50 tickets. $82 going to the winner, and we thank you for your support of Pacifica High School Athletics. Winning ticket is 236394. 236394. You are the winner. Please come up to the press box and claim your prize. Coming up in just a few moments, a senior from both Oxnard and Pacifica High will each try to kick an extra point for a $500 scholarship. It's the Kick for College presented by your #1 Oxnard Auto Center. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to draw your attention to the east goal. At this time, the Oxnard Auto Center is proud to have Lolly Zambrano from Oxnard High attempt a successful kick through the goalpost to receive a $500 scholarship for college. Okay, Steve Lolly, are you ready? And it's good! Congratulations, Steve Lolly Zambrano, on your $500 scholarship. Now it's Kelly Espino's turn from Pacifica High. Okay, Kelly, are you ready? Good luck. And it's good. Congratulations to Kelly Espino on your $500 scholarship. Please give a big hand to all our seniors and to the Kick for College, brought to you by your #1 Oxnard Auto Center. Let's have an exciting second half, and we'll see you at the big sign. One more time, 50-50 winner. We're looking for ticket number 236394. 236394. Come up into the press box and claim your 50-50 winning ticket prize.
Repeat the number!
14-10, Pacifica leads Oxnard at the half at Pacifica High School, a Pacific View League game, rivalry game, cross-town matchup. Kent Brown joined by George Contreras, and now Joe Curley has entered the booth coming up from the field, so a three-man booth here at Pacifica High School. And Joe, I'll start with you. You were down on the field. It was a close, competitive first half. But Pacifica, we talk all about Johnson, Sherrod, and Puller. Alex Rocha stepped on it, and he made plays there, getting some carries.
Yeah, it really looked like both coaches, but really the Pacifica side adjusting, to the matchup and really just trying to go beefy. I was just telling you guys off air that at one point I turned to somebody on the sideline. I said, "What is it, 1995 again?" I mean, Alex Rocha, who's their big linebacker and defensive player, moving him to the offensive side. They got that nice drive out of him, give him the ball 3-4 times in a row, getting some momentum and bruising it. And, you've got two of the best quarterbacks in Ventura County. You've got all kinds of stars, and these two coaches are beating each other up. I mean, that's what we've got so far in the first half.
Well, I think that's part of getting back to the strength of the Pacifica offense, is that offensive line, giving them a chance to flex their muscles a little bit. With some counters, walking down on people, pulling people through. Again, I was just excited to see an offense with a quarterback under center, two backs in the backfield, and a tight end. I mean, I'd read about that in some magazines once, but I'd never actually seen it in my lifetime.
That's all the playbooks that you have salted away.
Yeah, so it was good to see that. But I think, again, it's a matter of Coach Moon trying to take advantage of what their strength is, and that's in the offensive line, being big and physical, and trying to wear down a little bit the Oxnard athletes. So see how that goes. The way I see it now is the two big adjustments I need to see here in the second half would be getting the quarterback for Pacifica, R.J. Maria, to keep the ball a little bit on some of these counter plays when the end crashes down, and to see if Pacifica can somehow contain Walea. He's just too good of an athlete to be sitting back there play after play after play with plenty of time, with no pressure on him, and he's done a great job of exploiting the lack of outside contained by the Pacifica defense, especially to the offense's left side.
And it will be Oxnard getting the ball to start the third quarter. Scooter Carranza will be the kickoff man for Pacifica. And for Oxnard, Walea played well. Aaron Fonts was in the mix. Xavier Harris, but Joe, haven't seen a lot of J.R. Waters yet. Yeah. They've done a great job of keeping the safety around him, but you have to think number one's going to get some targets
this half. He made that one play on the first drive, the third play, and we haven't seen much from him since.
Oh, boy, here's a returnable kick.
Fonts, and back to return is Harris. Harris is going to cut up past the 20. Harris cuts up to the 25. Now up past the 30, near the 40-yard line. A really nice return from Xavier Harris, returning it all the way to the 40 or 39-yard line, and great field position starting for Oxnard. Recapping how this game has gone so far, it was 7-7 after the first. Pacifica took their first lead of the game late in the second quarter, and then nearly as time expired to end the half, a 29-yard field goal from Vargas for Oxnard to cut the lead to 14-10. Walea back with one tailback.
That's a big mistake by the Tritons. Too many men on the field
to open the second half.
12 men on the field for Pacifica, and so Oxnard will get a free 5 yards. And penalty-wise, there have been several big defensive penalties here tonight, giving teams either a free first down or shorter yardage. And to start off the third quarter, Pacifica commits one, moves it up 5 yards. It will be 1st and 5 for the Yellow Jackets.
We had that same double cover look on number one, Waters for Oxnard. They have it again here.
Waters goes in motion. Go to the top of your screen. 4 wide. Walea bobbles the snap and is taken down in the backfield. Devin Alpew, the sophomore defensive end, with the sack, and that time Walea bobbled it as he was going back, and Alpew drilled him, Joe, for the big loss.
For people in Oxnard, that's a familiar surname. Alpew is his uncle or father. There's been so many great players from that family, a lot of them at Wainimi. It's a new generation now here at Pacifica.
Right, there was some Ipews at Channel Islands. There's Ipews at Rio Mesa. So we have one of the great athletic families of the Oxnard Plains.
2nd and 13 after a loss of 8 and stymied in the backfield is the ball carrier Harris, and now 3rd and long awaits the Oxnard Yellow Jackets. So after giving up the 5 yards, 2 big defensive plays so far in the early going of this quarter.
The first play of that series, again, that bad snap, again, we've seen that several times on part of Oxnard, screw things up for the Yellow Jackets. And finally, Tritons got a little bit of pressure on Wale on that play, too. That was on first down.
3rd and 14. Single back and another bad snap, and it will be Walea picking it up at the 20. Walea's trying to make something happen. He's up past the 30. Walea's going to run past the 35. Will fire one downfield. Incomplete. Vince Walea again keeps his composure, picks up the ball, but this time incomplete. It will be 4th down, but another poor snap, and it was impressive just for Walea to pick it up and make something happen.
As you're watching that play, you're thinking of all the permutations, everything that could happen, whether it's a Pacifica recovery, whether it's Walea tucking it down and running for the first down, an interception after, and there's so much that could have happened, and ultimately nothing.
Walea just made a great play to be able to avoid about a 20-yard loss there.
A low snap on the punt, and Vargas is able to pick it up cleanly and get it to the 32-yard line. It's fair caught by Noel Williams, and field position will be Pacifica at their own 33-yard line. They're a short punt, but it's the Pacifica offense that, 14 points. You went down early, you took the lead in the second quarter, and now you have a quarterback that's confident. RJ Maria's had a pretty good half. And then you look at these running backs, Johnson, Sherrod, and Rocha all making plays. You think established a run here in the 3rd, or do you think Maria try to get that balance and hope to maybe hit one deep early?
Well, I think he'll keep them spread out here a little bit. Again, get the ball to these slot receivers against linebackers. Yeah. Right now, again, another one of their kind of crazy formations here. We have a quad set here to the bottom of the screen, trying to get people out of the box and open the running lanes.
Very unique formation with Moon, Farmer, Wilson.
Yeah, that looks like the chains are broken.
As we wait, rewind here quickly to that first drive of the second half, where we've got 1st and 5 for Oxnard. And I think if you had Tim Gutierrez right here and you were able to ask him the question off the record, he would have told you that was going to be a shot play to J.R. Waters. It really looked like that was going to develop it, and that's one of the reasons why they finally got home on the sack with a pew, because it looked like they were going to, that was a deep drop.
Yeah, those were just an incomplete pass in the stat page, but Wailea's play avoiding that 20-yard loss was fantastic.
1st and 10, a quick pass over to Michael Johnson with 3 receivers down the block, a pickup of 4, 2nd and 6 for the Pacifica Tritons.
Decent job there by the defensive backs for Oxnard getting off blocks and limiting that to a 4-yard play.
Oxnard's D-backs have been very good all year, led by the cornerback Dom Brown, the senior, and then Gutierrez, Aranda, and Barboza, the starting secondary for this Yellow Jackets defense. 2nd and 7, officially a 3-yard gain. Maria, 4 wide, 1 back. It's Alan Johnson. The handoff goes to Johnson. Up to the 40-yard line will be a 4-yard pickup, 3rd and short, upcoming for Pacifica. And a big down here, Joe, because you're up 4. Clock has been kind of an issue in terms of both these teams. They want to have long possessions, keep the ball away from the opposing offense, and now it's short yardage. This is exactly where you want the team to be if you're Coach Moon and Pacifica.
Yeah, I mean, it opens up the entire playbook. You could go back to the run. You could get Maria moving around. You could even take a shot. So, yeah, the whole playbook's available to them right now.
Maria still has the opportunity to keep the ball on these runs. The ends are closing really fast.
3rd and 2, pressure coming. Maria is going to throw it wide. Incomplete. Intended for Savon Farmer. He was guarded very well from the Oxnard Yellow Jackets. Gerald Samuel in at corner on that play. And with good field position and seemingly short yardage, the defense holds, and Oxnard appears that they'll be getting the ball back as the defense stopped the Pacifica offense.
Yeah, missed opportunities for both teams to start the second half for sure.
8:57 remaining, 3rd quarter from Pacifica High School. The Tritons undefeated, looking to keep that 0 in the loss column, and Oxnard want to spoil this game. 3-2 on the season are the Yellow Jackets.
Need a big play out of Scooter Carranza. They hit a lot of fakes.
Fake, and it goes.
Ooh, no, I don't think so.
They call timeout?
It was about to be a fake for a first down, and then Pacifica calls the timeout at the last second. So they would have had, it appears, a first down, and instead a timeout called by the Tritons. And we've seen some trickery tonight, but that time it looked to be well executed, but the timeout was called right as the snap was occurring.
I'm not sure if he would have gotten the first down. I think he got tripped up and fell a little bit early. I saw them practice that play several times on Wednesday with a little bit more success than that.
Today's broadcast is a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers. That's subscribe.vcstar.com.
Even though that play didn't go, they showed it, and that might slow down a little bit of the punt rush by the Oxnard defense being afraid of possible fakes.
Fourth down, Carranza, the punter. And Fonts is back as the return man.
Oh boy.
High snap. Carranza gets the punt off. It will be bounced at about the 32-yard line, and actually back deep for the first time tonight for Oxnard was Sal Gutierrez, the free safety, who they had go back there. Fonts did have a fumble earlier. With that said, it will be Oxnard starting off at the 34-yard line with 8:44 remaining here in the third quarter.
Both defenses have come out with good series to start the second half.
14-10. It's been close throughout. The largest lead of the game has been 7 points. The Yellow Jackets led by their senior second-year starter, Vince Walea. Xavier Harris, the lone back. The receiver in motion is Waters. Standing back in the pockets, Walea intended for Waters, incomplete, but there's a flag thrown in the defensive secondary. Looks like holding, what they're going to end up calling. So if that's the case, it will give the Yellow Jackets the 10 yards and a first down, and would close near midfield.
And one thing they did on the previous drive, they put Waters in motion out of a slot. Makes it a lot harder to double cover him when he's running across the formation and lining up in the slot. So I think Coach Gutierrez is their longtime offensive coordinator here in the Ventura County area, and for Coach Mack. He's trying to find creative ways to get him away from this double coverage and get him open again. He's too good of an athlete not to get targeted more.
First and 10, Yellow Jackets. Ball on their own 43-yard line. Waters in motion once again. 4 wide. Back to passes Walea. Good pocket. Walea's going out to the wide side. Incomplete. That would have been a tough completion intended for Xavier Harris, and it's knocked away by Pup Aina, one of those Falcon position strong safeties for the Tritons.
Yeah, great job getting his hand up there. I'm not sure if it would have been a completion anyway. I think he would have been out of bounds had he caught it. But pretty good coverage there by Pup.
Certainly looked pretty. Leave your feet batted away.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to look good in your uniform.
Hope our photographer, Chuck Kerman, down there got a good shot of that.
Second and 10. The Yellow Jackets continue with 4 wide. Empty set. Now in motion is Harris. Fakes it. Walea keeps it. Walea near the first down sticks, past midfield, all the way up to about the 47. And now there is a late flag as some extracurriculars between Waters and Noel Williams, the cornerback that has been matched up with him all day. And Williams has done a good job on him, but that time the linesman ran in and threw the flag. So we'll have to see if this is maybe on both players. If it just happens to be on one, it would be a big personal foul penalty. J.R. Waters called for the personal foul as he was mouthing off with Noel Williams.
That's got to be a little bit of frustration from an evening of not being targeted. Williams is a very good cornerback, again, with great bloodlines. His brother played for Pacifica, Miles, and he's now playing up at Wyoming. His father played for University of Oregon. So, again, another long line of good athletic genes here in the Plains. And Williams plays with a lot of courage and a lot of great determination and skill. Well-coached young athlete.
And because it was post play, instead of it being 3rd and 2, it's all the way back to 3rd and 17 for Oxnard as they were up past midfield. A crucial penalty, and one we might look back at and say was a potential turning point type of play here in this ball game. 3rd and 17, Walea back to pass. Pocket breaks down. Walea is going to be hit in the backfield and taken down by a gang of tacklers, but it was started from Ben Mendoz, the senior defensive end, coming in, corralling Walea and not letting him out of his sights. Another big stop for the Tritons.
Good job by both defensive ends that time. Pressure from the one at the top and good contained by the one here at the bottom. Walea had no place to go that time, and they were able to get a stop. Again, that penalty on the previous play was a huge killer.
Vargas the punt. Back to receive at his own 35 is Noel Williams. The snap is clean. Vargas gets the punt off. It is caught right at the 34-yard line. So that ends up being a punt of about 29 yards with no return. At Ventura Orthopedics, they offer state-of-the-art technology to ensure their patients receive the best care available. Always staying abreast of the latest developments in orthopedic medicine, the doctors and surgeons have been among the first in the community to perform many advanced orthopedic treatments, including total hip replacement. Learn more at VenturaOrtho.com today and let them help you get back in the game. Again, that's VenturaOrtho.com.
And with the exchange of punts, I believe that the Tritons have a little bit better field position now than they had in the previous drive. Again, it's been a defensive second half so far. Both teams are playing very well on defense, made good adjustments.
Couple score updates. Camarillo now leads Lakewood 15-0 early in the third, and Malibu ahead of Santa Clara 28-14 in the third quarter. On first down, not much going for the Tritons. It's maybe a pickup of about 1.5 yards for Malik Sherrod. It will be 2nd and 9.
The defensive linebacking group from Oxnard again right on the play. Short gain. This is what they want to see, be able to stop the Tritons' power running game, and they're doing a good job of that, other than that one drive at the end of the first half.
You are watching the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. Kent Brown, George Contreras, and Joe Curley on the call. On 2nd and 9, the pass is complete to the wide side. Isaiah Moon makes a guy miss, picks up the first down as he approaches midfield, and the coach's son showing his speed and then his make-you-miss ability in the open field. Big pickup, move the chains, first down near midfield.
Dangerous pass. That receiver had a chance, defensive player had a little chance to step in front of that, maybe go up.
Pressure coming from the Yellow Jackets. Maria tries to escape it. He fumbles the ball near the sideline, and it is recovered by the Yellow Jackets. Coming up and making the hit, Jacob Murillo, and then it is Chris Lavelle, the senior defensive end, recovering the football, getting it back, and Oxnard down 4 with a huge play, forcing the fumble, and then coming up with the recovery midway through the third quarter.
Just did not feel him coming from behind. He got stopped up there, and a great pursuit by the Oxnard defense to force the fumble and have second, third guys in the vicinity to make the recovery. Great field position for them now at the 42.
42-yard line of the Tritons. Oxnard takes over. They have led by as many as 7. Pacifica, largest lead is 7, currently a 4-point cushion here nearing the midway point of this third quarter. Low snap. It is Walea keeping it. He tried to get it to Harris. Walea escapes pressure, moving to his right, cutting up field, picking up 6. And that time, there was a whiff in the backfield. And then for Pacifica, coming up, trying to make the tackle was Devin Alpew. And instead of a loss of yards, Walea once again finding ways to make plays with his feet when it's a bad snap and then a scramble. Playmaker,
leader, those are the things we're looking for in a quarterback, and he certainly provides that for the Yellow Jackets.
And he's a lot bigger and stronger. I mean, I've interviewed him face-to-face in practice. On the field, on the sidelines, he just looks bigger and stronger out there. It looks like he's taking these hits a lot, falling forward and, stuff like that.
2nd and 5, they move Harris back from the slot, now to tailback. Man in motion is Lamalu. Lamalu going to his right. Another low snap, and it's Walea trying to get away from the pressure, throws it out of bounds near the Oxnard sideline, and Walea again just having to find a play. And this is something in short order, it's a tough thing to fix on the fly, is it not? When you have a center that just can't get the ball cleanly to your quarterback.
That's a hard problem to fix during a game. Again, with this young man, this is the second time that he's thrown an incomplete pass. That's all it is in the stat sheet, but it avoided another 10-yard loss. So he's done that on a couple occasions. Those are the hidden statistics type things that are part of being a leader, getting rid of the ball and avoiding that sack.
The center, Logan Simmons, for this Oxnard Yellow Jackets team, a junior. 3rd and 5. Walea back to pass. Pressure coming from his left. He will throw it deep, intended for Fonts. Incomplete. There's a flag down. And I don't know if this is going to be offensive or defensive. I thought it was really good coverage by Michael Johnson.
I think you got an offensive PI there.
And Fonts almost looked like he was the one making the contact on that play.
It's really good coverage by Michael Johnson.
Yes, very good.
The thing is, do you accept it and make it 3rd and 20, or do you say no and then it's 4th and 5? I think you have to take this penalty if it's on the offense.
I think you do, and it might be loss of down on offensive PI. I'm not 100% sure of the high school rule on that.
The referees are discussing it. Looked to be great coverage by Johnson. Walea saw the single coverage and trusted his man might get it. It is offensive pass interference on Fonts, and so it will back up the Oxnard Yellow Jackets. And this quarter, they've been knocking on the door a couple times and then seemingly unable to, whether it's an offensive mistake, a penalty, you name it, backing up, bad snaps, and now it will be all the way back to, I believe, about the 48-yard line. Yeah, so it moves back to the 48 of Oxnard, and it will be 3rd and 20 for the Yellow Jackets.
I always forget that it's not a loss of down in high school.
It's not? Okay. Well, Walea, again, will have to make a play with his feet as well as his arm, I believe, on this play.
3rd and 20. Oxnard ball on their own 48-yard line.
See if the Tritons can get some pressure here. They seem to be relying on their 3-down linemen to make it all happen. Here comes a linebacker, maybe 2.
Now they back off the blitz. Walea back to pass, goes to the right side. It is caught near the original first down sticks to Lamalu, so they get back half the yardage, 11, maybe 10.5 yards, and it will be 4th and very long, and Vargas comes in to punt the football. And once again, we will see Noel Williams back to return. Another win for this Tritons defense, Joe.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, these two teams, it's just been a stalemate. I think it's a stalemate, strategically. It's a stalemate physically up front. And I think both teams are kind of afraid of the other defense a little bit. And you get, conservative kind of play calls.
Vargas punts it, a very nice punt to the 11-yard line, and it is downed by the Oxnard Yellow Jackets. That time coming down and making it was Carlos Barboza. So a good punt once again. And we've seen both all night. Carranza and Vargas have been very effective as punters. And now it's the Tritons that will take over deep in their own territory.
Well, this is going to be a tough sledding here for the Tritons. Coach Moon is a defensive coach at heart and doesn't want to put his defense in any kind of trouble. So being down here at their own 10, it really closes up a lot of the playbook at this point.
Oxnard has really won the field position battle today. The Pacifica drive starts have been significantly tougher than the Oxnard drive starts.
Agreed.
RJ Maria, the junior quarterback. 4 wide, 3 to the top of your screen. Maria keeps it. Not much doing as that time, and the linebacker came up and made the play. And we've seen Tony Lopez very active tonight on the defensive side for the Yellow Jackets. He was saying, I'm not buying it. I'm going to come up and hit you and knock you down. And Maria picks up 3, 2nd and 7.
That was a good look by their defense. The end came down on that running play again. But this time that linebacker scraped off and covered up for the defensive end and made a nice stop.
Sophomore Tony Lopez with the big stop on 1st down. 2nd and 7. The handoff goes to Johnson. Johnson's going to move up past the 15 to about the 16-yard line. So a short gain, and it will be 3rd and medium for the Tritons.
I'd be very surprised if we didn't see another running play down here. Again, as I said earlier, Coach Moon does not like to put his defense in untenable situations. I think he'll continue to play a field position game, and if nothing else, just punt it out of here and get it back out to around the 50-yard line or so.
It's a big play right here. Could be Pacifica's last offensive play of the third quarter.
Kyrie Wilson in at receiver. Johnson remains the lone back. Oxnard showing pressure. A low snap this time for Pacifica, and it is Maria scrambling around. Maria makes the man miss. Up past the 30 to the 34-yard line, a 20-yard gain. And as the play broke down, RJ Maria kind of showed what Walea's been doing tonight. Take the low snap, make a couple guys miss, and have a big gainer.
You've got two quarterbacks who are returning starters from last year, so they both have that little level of moxie and experience put together that makes them be what you want in quarterback, playmakers.
Give Coach Contreras credit there. He's been calling for some keepers from Maria this half.
2:45 remaining third quarter. A quick screen pass over to Savon Farmer. Farmer, the top receiver on this Pacifica team. About a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7 for the Tritons.
The DBs again for Oxnard did a pretty good job coming off their blocks and maintaining that play down to just a 4-yard gain. Usually when running these wide receiver screens, you're looking for 8-10 yards or bigger.
Trips to the bottom of your screen. Moon, Farmer, and Johnson. At the top is Kyrie Wilson. Lone back is Johnson. It's going to be incomplete, intended quickly for Moon. By the time Moon got his head around, it was already past him, and now it's 3rd and 7, awaiting the Pacifica Tritons. 14-10. Pacifica undefeated on the season, leading the 3-2 Oxnard Yellow Jackets crosstown rivalry game, league game in the Pacific View League. Kent Brown, George Contreras, and Joe Curley here on the call. You are watching the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. A big third down for the Tritons. Johnson remains in at running back. It's Maria, pocket breaking down, pressure coming, incomplete, and it was Jacob Murillo, the junior nose guard, hitting Maria, forcing the errant throw, and another defensive stand. And we said it's been a punt off this quarter, and now for the third time, Carranza will come in, and the Oxnard Yellow Jackets will rate the return as Fonts is back in as the punt returner.
I'm kind of surprised that the Tritons have not gone back to that tight end, two-back set that was so successful for them in their touchdown drive at the end of the second quarter. We have not seen that since, and I think they were trying to come back to that, especially down here when their backs were up to the goal line.
Save that for the fourth quarter so they have a lead.
2.5 remaining in the third. Carranza's punt, it's high and spiraling. Fonts calls for the fair catch and gets it at the 30-yard line. Tonight's broadcast is a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers. And after the punt return, there was another flag, and now the penalty will be assessed. It is on the Pacifica Tritons, and instead of it being 1st and 10 from the 30, it will be Oxnard starting all the way at the 45. Another mental error for a special teams unit. We've seen it offense, defense, special teams tonight. This time it went against Pacifica. Great field position awaits the Yellow Jackets.
One of the players for the Tritons just after the play was over, just mouthing off, just senseless in a close game like this.
1st and 10, Walea setting up a screen. It's complete to Lamalu. Lamalu past midfield, up over the first down marker, a pickup of 12, and a big first down for the Yellow Jackets. And after the 15 yards via penalty, it's a great first down hookup. The senior quarterback to the sophomore tight end, and the Yellow Jackets are back in plus territory with a chance knocking on the door, trying to gain the lead or at least cut into this Pacifica lead.
The thing that's rough about the penalty that gets the drive start is you had just seen the previous time Oxnard had the ball, the refs had thrown a flag for taunting or talking. So, you got to be aware.
First down, it's Harris. Harris past the 40, up to the 34-yard line. They'll officially mark it off at the 35, so he'll be about a yard short of the first down marker, but a huge 9-yard gain. And as you said, it was mouthing off. Waters got it on one end for Oxnard. Now on the other end, it's going to be the Pacifica Tritons with the penalty. 2 big 15-yard penalties, one for each side here in this third quarter. 2nd and 1, Lamalu in motion. Walea hands it off to Lamalu. He will cut up close to the first down marker, a really nice stick from the defensive side on the far side of our field, as Pacifica is at least going to make it interesting of whether they picked up this first down. It appeared initially Lamalu had it, and now there is an injury. One of the Tritons is down on the field. They are signaling a first down.
I think it may be the kid who made the tackle.
Yeah, for the Tritons, they lead by 4. It was a really nice defensive play as Lamalu was tackled on the far side of the field. The Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. Kent Brown, George Contreras, and Joe Curley on the call. Ventura Orthopedics is proud to support the collegiate and high school athletic teams in the community. The doctors serve as team physicians for most of the high school and college sports programs in the area. Whether assisting with game injuries or cheering for players from the sidelines, the doctors at Ventura Orthopedics consider it a privilege to be a part of the team. Now we see coming off the field gingerly is Papaina, one of the Falcon strong safeties. They call them the Falcon position on this Mike Moon Pacifica defense. He made the stick on the far side of the field. It was enough for a first down as Lamalu only needed a yard. So it will be 1st and 10. Ball on the 34-yard line when we reset after the injury.
I saw it too. So that was Caleb McCullough, the linebacker. The Pacifica's got some really nice linebackers. They've just got such depth, in so many spots, especially defensively.
Yeah, McCullough made the tackle, and then the injury was Aina. McCullough has been the leading tackler for this team all season. On 1st and 10, Harris does a good job to just pick up positive yards, and it will be 2nd and 9.
They went with 2 backs in the backfield that time, their power set, which Coach Moon was very, very concerned about, and they were able to stop them. So that was a huge first down play for the Triton defense.
The clock continues to wind. 45 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Walea back to pass, trailing by 4, and the sack in the backfield is Alex Rocha, the senior, making another big play. He's done it on both sides of the ball tonight, and Rocha comes through, gets the big sack, and it's now 3rd and 17 for the Jackets.
The receivers were all deep and just couldn't find enough time to get them the football. Great pressure there by the backside defensive end. Looking for the Oxnard Yellow Jackets to come back to hitting their backs in the backfield. That screen play they ran earlier in this drive was a well-designed one. They faked a wide receiver screen to the one side and then hit a middle screen instead, which I really like the looks of that play. They can keep things moving quickly for the Yellow Jackets. Look for them to be going to a little bit more up-tempo here in the rest of the game.
And that is the final play of the third quarter, a scoreless third frame. It is Pacifica leading 14-10. Oxnard, though, with the ball in striking distance. Tonight's broadcast is a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers. That's subscribe.vcstar.com. A couple of score updates. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at VCSPreps. Check out vcstar.com all night. At the end of 3, Santa Paula leads Carpinteria 28-0 in that game.
Santa Paula.
Yeah, how about that? Season. And how about Calabasas after trailing 14-0 against Westlake? They've tied it up in the third quarter, 14-14 in the Marmonte League showdown. And then Newberry Park just scored a touchdown, so the St. Bonaventure lead is cut to 20-7 in the third quarter in that one. We have a 14-10 game here. Walea back to pass, incomplete, intended for Harris on 3rd and 17, and for another big defensive stop, the Pacifica Tritons will get the ball back, down 4. And how many times this half, Joe? Oxnard's been in plus territory, and they've left with nothing to show.
We're just stuck in a rut in this game. Oxnard's in plus territory, can't do anything at third down, gets a key sack or a key penalty. Pacifica's going to be backed up unless they make a special teams play here.
Watch for number 20 here.
Another bad snap.
Vargas, the punter.
Ooh.
It is toe poked away. Williams will not go up to get it. It is down at the 9-yard line. And you mentioned Sherrod coming, trying to get that block. He nearly got there. Vargas was able to punt it away down to the 9-yard line. And so, again, we're seeing Pacifica get the ball back. But once again, back in near their own end zone.
What a great job of punting. To field the ball, to get it off under pressure from that left side there.
And it was an ugly punt, but boy, did it work well.
Exactly.
just died in the 9. The whole second half has been a problem for field position for Pacifica, and it is again here with a 91-yard field to look at.
Here's Pacifica's last couple drive starts. This is what, the 9? Previous one was the 10. Previous to that was the 34, 32, and 20.
That's a lot of distance to go, especially with the way this Yellow Jackets defense has played tonight. On first down, they go on a jet sweep, and it is met at the line of scrimmage. In fact, it's met all the way back at the 6. It will be a 3-yard loss for the Tritons, 2nd and 13, as they handed it off to Isaiah Moon.
I believe that was actually a reverse play, a quick reverse, and the defensive end on this side for the Oxnard Yellow Jackets stayed at home, played it very, very well.
Yeah, they did not bite on that one. Oxnard defensively pitching a shutout in the second half, but so is Pacifica. Scoreless second half, early stages of the fourth quarter. The Tritons trying to remain undefeated in Pacific League View play here tonight against Oxnard. On 2nd and 13, the pass is incomplete as Maria goes to Michael Johnson. Johnson unable to hold on, and it's 3rd and 13 from their own 6.
You need to be very careful here on a 3rd and 13 at your own 6-yard line. As you said, this is not a situation where you can afford to make a mistake, have a turnover here. I'd say probably a little bit of a conservative run type play here and put it back in the hands of your punter to get you some field position.
Gotta love this. The place is packed so much on probably a league championship on the line, and this thing's hanging by a thread.
Yeah, this is high school football at its finest.
Pierce out of the game, and in is Kyrie Wilson. So on the bottom of your screen, 3 wide goes. It will be Johnson, Wilson, and Farmer. A lone back is Alan Johnson. They will throw a quick pass to Farmer. Incomplete, but there's a flag down at the 15-yard line. Farmer was lit up on the sideline. R.J. Aranda over to make the play, but there is a flag thrown back at the 15-yard line.
So much for being conservative.
Picked it up.
No flag.
Samuel with a great play there to break that up.
It'll be 4th and 13. And a great effort again from this Oxnard defense. But this secondary has been very good all year from what we've seen, but especially tonight.
Yeah, that's the strength of their Oxnard defense, is their defensive ends pressure and their secondary behind it. So they're doing just what they need to do now. Again, we're going to look at a situation where Oxnard's going to hit the ball somewhere around the 40, 45-yard line.
Or even better if they get a return.
Yeah. Carranza punting from deep in his own end zone. Fonts is the return man at the 40. Snap is back. The kick is up, but it is a sidewinder going to about the 33-yard line, and that is where it will be down. Fonts unable to make the return, but it will be Oxnard starting off with superb field position once again. But the difference is eventually they have to capitalize and get one of these scores.
Yeah, the two defenses are just playing lights out here in the second half. But as long as we've got this field position issue for the Yellow Jackets, it's certainly to their advantage. Sooner or later, that dam's going to break. It's just hard to be back here constantly, especially against the kind of talented athletes that Oxnard possesses.
Couple of score updates. Camarillo leading Lakewood 22-0 at the end of 3. Simi Valley up 41-0 over Mary, Star of the Sea. And then Fillmore had 28-7 against Hueneme. On first down, it is Xavier Harris. Harris cuts it up past the 30, inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. A 17-yard scamper for Harris, and Oxnard is in the red zone, down 4.
Yeah, before that play, I was going to say this game is a virtual tie. You know, would you rather have the 4-point lead, or would you rather have the ball on the plus 33? It's basically a knife's edge.
Yeah, with the 4-point cushion, though, that does mean Oxnard needs a touchdown to take the lead. A field goal will just close the gap. but not tie the game up or take the lead. 1st and 10 in the red zone. The Yellow Jackets, another low snap. A screen pass is complete to Lamalu. Lamalu catches it to the 12-yard line. A pickup of 5, 2nd and 5, awaits the Jackets, and a good catch by Lamalu, and then makes a man miss, picks up 5.
Well-designed play again by the Tim Gutierrez, the offensive coordinator for the Oxnard Yellow Jackets, but it was well read by one of the defensive linemen from the Tritons.
Under 10 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. The Yellow Jackets knocking on the door, down 4. The handoff goes to Harris. Harris ends up losing 2 yards, maybe even 3, and it will be 3rd and about 7 upcoming for the Oxnard Yellow Jackets, and that time it appeared to be a weird exchange, almost like a fumbled handoff.
Too much pressure in the backfield.
The defense swarmed it.
Yeah. Now again, the question is this a 2-down zone situation? Would they go for a field goal on 4th down?
It's a great question.
I'm going to guess it's a 2. The way things are going right now, I think this is a 2-down situation.
Timeout Oxnard, so both teams have 2 timeouts remaining in this game. A crucial down, and maybe they discussed this here. They go through 2 different plays, and therefore you call the timeout, you hope to get the score. Vargas did make a 29-yard field goal with 4 seconds left in the second, so he's well within his range.
Just the way the defenses are playing right now, if you don't get this field position, you kick the field goal, you're still down 1. With the kickoff, the other team is probably going to have as good a field position as they've had all night, Pacifica that is. So lots has to go into this.
It's a great question.
How we're going. It's a tough decision no matter which one you take.
Yeah, I feel like if you pick up 3 or 4 here, you probably go for it. But if you get nothing here, 4th and 7 changes things.
I think we're talking, about a 30, 32, 33-yard field goal attempt. That might be a little bit out of his range. I can agree with you. If they pick up 4 or 5, then we have to start thinking here what we're going to do.
14 to 10. It's been 0-0 here in the second half as both defenses have found a way to keep the opposing teams out of the end zone all half. Oxnard has had the field position edge throughout the second half, and now they're trying to get some points and show for it. Fonts is in the backfield. Walea with time in the pocket. Now the pocket breaks down. Walea escapes pressure, moving to his left, throwing across his body, and it's intercepted by the Pacifica Tritons. And a crossbody throw results in the turnover, and the Tritons will take over up 4.
Big technique mistake by Walea that time. No matter what level you're playing, when you throw across your body like that, good things do not happen. And that was the big play that the defense needed. But the problem is they're still back here at the 4-yard line. And the offense has not moved the ball at all. So even though it's an interception, you still have the field position problems going. You're going to get another chance. Walea will get a chance to make up for that mistake.
Sometimes you can have too much time. I mean, he's had a ton of time, and he just tried to squeeze it in there.
And look who was pressuring him. Alex Rocha was in on that one. So Rocha doing it on the defensive side. Willie Dillon from that Falcon position comes up with the big interception. It's another bad field position start here.
Okay, Roach is back in on offense. Let's see what if he picks it up again as he did before. But we're going back to the 2 tight end? No, we're not.
But on the other hand, they have the ball up 4, so that's definitely a defensive win. The handoff goes to Rocha. Rocha is going to pick up maybe a half a yard, and it will be 2nd and long. The defense swarmed on that one.
Oxnard is continuing to control the line of scrimmage here defensively. They have been doing this now for the last 2 or 3 series. There's just no place for the Tritons to go. Rocha coming out now.
Rocha out, and now they bring in a few other bodies. Ibarra back in at guard. They also send another player in for the team. Ben Mendoza will come in on the offensive line. And now out of the game, how about this? RJ Maria is out.
Oh.
So Maria goes to the sideline. Now he came out with a few other players, and it will be handed off up the middle for a short gain of about 4.
Wildcat.
So Brad Bichard in on that play, the backup quarterback, the junior, and he picks up about 4 yards for 3rd and 6.
And looks like he's going to stay in.
Bichard will stay in. Now they bring back in a few other skill position players, Wilson, Farmer, and Johnson into the game.
Well, this is going to be a little bit of a tough go.
And there's Maria. Now Maria's coming in late. So R.J. Maria making his way back into the game.
Might have some trouble in the stands here.
7:45 remaining here in the fourth quarter. A 4-point Pacifica lead, Pacific View League, crosstown rivalry, and now the officials will blow the play dead in a timeout. Is there going to be a timeout called from the Pacifica Tritons? So that's their second timeout of the half. Only one remaining here for the Tritons. 20 doctors with 5 locations in Ventura County, all with one goal in mind: to get you back in the game. Ventura Orthopedics specializes in sports medicine, general orthopedics, pain management, pediatric, and MRI. Ventura Orthopedics offers exceptional therapists. Learn more at venturaortho.com or call to schedule an appointment at 800-698-1280. That's 800-698-1280. Also, tonight's broadcast is a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers and sign up for a print or digital subscription today. The Tritons face a 3rd and 6. Back into the game is R.J. Maria at quarterback after the quick Brad Bichard keeper on the second down play. There's another flag, and it will back up.
Oh, boy.
Pacifica half the distance. They were already on their own 7. Now they'll be backed up inside their own 4.
Really looking at a tough situation here for the Tritons. They are now going to be a 3rd and about 12. 11 or 12. Not where you want to be with your back against the wall here in the end zone.
Yeah, it was 3rd and 6. Now they'll back up about 3.5 more. So you're looking at about 3rd and 9, maybe even 3rd and 10, awaiting the Tritons.
And the obvious, if they don't get a first down here, then Oxnard's going to get the ball back again with, again, great field position. They just keep knocking at the doors. These two defensives keep slugging it out. Just looking for someone to make a mistake here.
7:30 remaining. Back to pass is Maria. Maria intending for a target. It's intercepted. Going the other way are the Yellow Jackets, and it will be a touchdown, Oxnard, as Jarrell Samuel goes the distance for the score. He read the quarterback's eyes, took it away, and then crossed the goal line for a big touchdown as Oxnard finally gets a score, and this time it's on defense.
And that was the mistake that they were looking for. They got it. And they, again, the great field position over and over and over again is going to play into that defensive hand in the long run, and it did.
Jarrell Samuel with the pick 6, and the Yellow Jackets now lead by 2. If they make this extra point, it will be a 3-point lead, and that's one way to get back in the game. If your offense can't do it, how about the defense steps up when you're backed in your own end zone and gets the touchdown? The PAT is up, and it is good, and Samuel with the pick 6 going the distance about 20 yards, and the Yellow Jackets retake the lead, and the defense steps up huge.
Absolutely. That's what they needed. But both teams there had turnovers. One was for stop the touchdown. The other one was for the pick 6. The nice thing here for the Tritons, still plenty of time left. They should get the ball now with favorable field position compared to what they've had. Even if it's an end zone touchback kick, the 20 is going to be the best field position they've had to start a drive probably in the last 3 or 4 possessions. So they just have to keep calm. They're only a field goal down, and they've got a good kicker that can tie up the ball game. There's still plenty of time, and hopefully some space here for the part of the Tritons to get back into this. The problem is the Yellow Jackets have been playing really good defense, and now with a lead, I'm sure their defense is going to be even more animated.
17-14, Oxnard leads. Crosstown rivalry, Pacific View League game, and the Tritons trying to remain perfect on the season, 5-0, attempting to get to 6-0. The Jackets trying to get to 4-2. The kickoff is going to be deep, and it is caught at the goal line, and arguing it is Malik Sherrod. He is saying, I got it before it went into the end zone, but the ref is not buying it, and it will be Tritons ball at the 20.
Yeah, make sure that at this point, though, the last thing the Tritons need is someone arguing with the referee and picking up another unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, I thought it might happen again as Sherrod was upset. I understand he's trying to make the play, but nonetheless, the official's right there to see the ball be at the goal line.
Yeah, let the players play, let the referees referee, and let the coaches coach, and everybody will be happy.
R.J. Maria comes back into the game, trailing for the first time this half, 17-14. The Tritons trail 4 wide. It's going to be Maria keeping the ball. Maria goes up past the 25-yard line. A pickup of about 5. Good gain on first down.
A good gain on first down and a good way to regain some confidence for Maria after the pick 6. Again, he's a heady young man who is very well thought of by the coaching staff at Pacifica. He's going to keep fighting and battling all the way to the end here.
Now Sherrod into the game. Out of the game is Alan Johnson. Coming in is Daniel Pierce at wide receiver. So Johnson out in the backfield. Malik Sherrod, the fastest of these Tritons backfield players into the game. Trips to the wide side at the bottom of your screen. The handoff goes to Sherrod. Sherrod gets the first down up to the 35-yard line, a 10-yard pickup, and he showed his speed and shiftiness on that run.
And now you're seeing the Tritons come back to life a little bit. Perhaps the Oxnard defense is relaxing a little bit with the lead, and the Tritons have come to play here on this drive. They know the importance of scoring on this next drive.
Tritons trail by 3. It's a 17-14 deficit. 6:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Only one timeout remaining for Pacifica. That's something to keep an eye on as this clock continues to wind down. Sherrod gets the handoff, and it is Darius Wade meeting him at the line of scrimmage. A pickup of 1, 2nd and 9 as we reach the midway point of this fourth quarter.
Great effort by Wade, tracking that thing from behind, and also a very good defensive design with the linebacker on that side that Wade came from, staying at home, watching Maria, taking away the keep read. So very, very good defense there, both in terms of structure and in terms of effort by Wade.
It has been a very disciplined, effective defense for the Yellow Jackets here in the second half. They've allowed 0, and they've scored a touchdown. On 2nd and 9, fakes the handoff. It's pressured by Maria, and it's intercepted by Gilbert Delatorre. Delatorre crosses the 35 down to the 32-yard line, and for the second time this quarter, it's an interception for Oxnard, and this defense has taken over this second half.
Even though Delatorre made the big play by intercepting, it was some pressure from one of the linemen that forced R.J. Maria to throw that ball a little bit sooner and a little bit more off balance than he'd like to be. So great team defense on that, good pressure on the quarterback, and a good reaction by the linebacker to make the pick.
The Yellow Jackets take over with great field position again, this time on the 33-yard line, up 3, and if they can get 7 here, the way this defense is playing, you would feel great about pulling off this win, getting the league win, and beating your undefeated league counterpart and your rival. On 1st and 10, it's going to be handed off to the short side of the field near the first down marker, so maybe back to the original line of scrimmage as Aaron Fonts was handed off to. But one thing is, the clock does continue to wind as we go to 5 minutes remaining.
I think we just saw another flag.
Yeah, a lot of chippiness down on the sideline, and not only do you get the players on the field, but when you're near the sideline, then you start getting some of the teammates that aren't even into the game that are part of it.
Well, the problem right now for the Pacifica is that we're just down to the 5-minute mark, as well as Oxnard's playing right now. If they can run the football, even if they don't score, if they can just run it, keep the clock running, it'll make it very, very hard for Pacifica to come back the way the Oxnard defense is going.
And a personal foul on the Tritons. So instead of no gain, this is going to be 15 yards assessed from the 33 down to the 18-yard line. They will walk this ball up officially to the 19, so it was technically a 1-yard loss, and another 15-yard penalty. And you mentioned the clock is an issue, the score is an issue, and now striking distance again for Oxnard.
This is an assurance touchdown here, or score of some kind for Oxnard. Probably put the ball game away with as little time as left.
Walea keeps it on first down. Walea has it. He fumbles the football. It's recovered by J.R. Waters. Waters goes in for the score, and with 4:50 remaining in the fourth quarter, Waters is right where he needs to be. Walea coughs it up, but there's Waters to take it in. A huge break, and Oxnard leads by 9.
A great call. Put the ball in the hands of one of your best playmakers, one of your good leaders. Unfortunately, he fumbled the football, and again, when things are going well, they go well. Waters just kind of standing watching the play, and here came the ball. Picked it up, smart move, and scored with it.
Oxnard ahead 2 scores. Waters was in position there, picked it up cleanly, and then went the distance for about 8 yards. The PAT is good, and Oxnard leads 24-14. Another score update, Newberry Park closing the gap against St. Bonaventure, now trail 20-14 with 6:08 remaining in that one. And how about this Oxnard offense? All half they haven't been able to get it in the end zone. The defense comes up with a huge play again, and now Oxnard gets in. It was a little bit of fortune, but you'll take it any way you can get it.
Oh, absolutely. In a game like this where the defense has been playing so hard and so tough, even there, a hard hit, forced a fumble, and Johnny on the spot makes the touchdown play. So they've taken advantage of the opportunities. The big secret here, though, has been the tremendous job they've done in the kicking game. Not enough can be said for Rafael Vargas and what his kicking and punting have done to force the field position issue in favor of the Oxnard Yellow Jackets.
Back to receive again are Johnson and Sherrod. Kicking off is Vargas. 24-14, 4:50 remaining. Vargas attempting another touchback, and this time Sherrod won't even attempt to return it as it goes 5 yards deep into the end zone. A couple final scores for you. Santa Paula defeats Carpinteria 34-0, and also Simi Valley defeats Mary Star of the Sea 42-0. Here we have a 24-14 game, and both defenses have been excellent all night. Pacifica has been tremendous on defense, but when you're backed up near your own end zone time after time after time, eventually you feel like the other team will score.
It's just, the kicking game is such an important phase of the game that most people don't even consider unless there's a bad snap or a punt return or a punt block. But they've done the little things well. They've just protected their punter, and they've been able to punt the ball away and get good field position off of it.
Maria on first down, incomplete. There is a late flag, which would probably indicate maybe defensive holding as it was thrown, and it probably would be because Maria thought there would be a receiver there, and instead Savon Farmer was about 8 yards away.
Right, number 4 I believe is going to be called for the holding call. Either holding or PI, whichever they want to call it.
Jarrell Samuel, who had the pick 6 that put Oxnard ahead here in the fourth quarter.
Oh, this is probably the best field position that the Tritons have seen in probably about 15-20 minutes.
Pacifica 5-0 on the season, Oxnard 3-2, but about 4 minutes and 46 seconds away from defeating the undefeated crosstown rival and getting another league win. RJ Maria, the junior quarterback, looked to pass, now he takes off. Maria will go up to the 40-yard line where he is tackled. It's a 5-yard gain. The clock continues to move as we head into 4.5 minutes, but it's a good first down gain, but that clock moving does help the Yellow Jackets a ton.
Yeah, you'll give up the 5 yards if you can keep him in bounds at this time and keep that clock working against him. As I said, I believe that Pacific only has 1 timeout left.
Back to pass is Maria. Maria will incomplete, just too high for Farmer. He had his receiver past midfield, put too much air underneath it, and it sailed over everybody out of bounds, second down.
The reason for that air on the ball is he had pressure in his face by the defensive line of Oxnard, so he had to loft that ball over them. Again, the Oxnard Yellow Jackets are putting the pressure. They're playing a great defensive game tonight. You can't take it away from them. They've come to play, and they've battled. Both teams have battled very, very hard.
Just over 4 minutes remaining. The Tritons have a 10-point deficit after leading most of the second half. The handoff goes to Johnson. Johnson will have the first down up past the 45 to the 48-yard line. So a nice gain of 8. Clock stops, and now the Tritons are approaching midfield.
Yeah, 4:11 left.
1 timeout.
Yeah, they've got to score quickly and probably go onside kick and try and go again.
1st and 10, ball on the 48. The Tritons had a receiver open as Kyrie Wilson separated from Dom Brown, the best cover corner on the Oxnard defense, but the pass was a little bit too long, and it will be 2nd and 10.
The Yellow Jackets were in a cover 2 kind of look over there on that side. They had a safety, which is a cover 3. Safety was over the top on that thing to help out. They'll give up yardage here. Just don't let them score. Keep them in bounds. Keep the clock running, and they'll be happy on defense.
They keep Kyrie Wilson to the top of your screen. 4 wide, low snap, and drills it. Maria gets it to Malik Sherrod as he catches it. Actually, it was Michael Johnson making the catch on the crossing route. 5-yard gain out of bounds. Clock stops, 4:03 remaining.
Good heady move by Johnson to not try and put a move on the defensive back and work back inside, get himself outside. Minimal gain, but get stop that clock is so important at this point.
Receivers are Moon, Johnson, and Wilson to the far side. On the short side of the field is Savon Farmer. The handoff goes to Alan Johnson. Johnson will lower his shoulder near a first down, about a yard short, and it will be officially 4th and 1 for the Tritons.
Well, this is huge, needless to say. The clock is running, which does not help.
3:40 remaining. 1 timeout left for Pacifica, trying to remain undefeated on the season. 4th and 1, it's a low snap. They will throw it deep. It is incomplete. Dropped by Kyrie Wilson. It was perfectly thrown by R.J. Maria. Wilson unable to bring it in, and it's a turnover on downs, and Oxnard takes over, up 10 with 3.5 left.
That was a really well-designed play. Just did not make the connection. Look for the Yellow Jackets now to just run the football, keep the clock running, make Pacifica use their one timeout here on defense, and just go home with a win.
It has been a shutout in the second half. Oxnard 1 offensive touchdown, 1 defensive touchdown here in the fourth quarter. Walea's had a big game. Waters with the huge touchdown after the fumble. Lamalu, the tight end. And then Xavier Harris had the first scamper of the game. But really, the MVP has to be this defense for Oxnard, continually making plays here in the second half and all game.
I would also give you a vote for player of the game was Rafael Vargas.
Yes.
His kicking and punting have been a huge difference in this game. Again, the things that most players, or I should say most fans, don't even think about at the end. They'll think about that interception, what have you, but so much of the Tritons' offensive playbook was thrown out the window because of the extremely bad field position they had due to the both Vargas' kicking and great coverage by the kickoff and punt teams of Oxnard.
And Vargas also with the big field goal before the end of the second quarter to keep them within 4. It has been a great game from Rafael Vargas. And kickoffs, how many has he sent through the end zone?
I think everyone except for one. He had one that was a little short, but other than that, they were all good.
Vargas has been an ace on special teams tonight. 2:45 remaining. Oxnard milking the clock. Walea will keep it on 2nd and 10. Walea gets back to the original line of scrimmage, picks up another yard, and now it is 3rd and 9 as the clock continues to move. And with only 1 timeout left, the Tritons have not chosen yet to take that final timeout.
Even though they got no yardage out of it, I think maybe a foot. I'm sure Oxnard is just happy that the ball is still in their possession. The clock is still running. At this point, for Oxnard, the enemy is no longer Pacifica. The enemy is that clock at the end of the field. Keep that thing going and let it die a fast death. You see right now they're going to stay in the huddle for quite a bit of the time, milk the clock, try and snap the ball with just maybe 2 or 3 seconds left on the...
And they'll even call the timeout. Just to make sure you get your team composed, know what's going on. There's 2:01 remaining. It's a 10-point lead. And if you're Oxnard, as you said, you also feel pretty good about running the football, having them burn the timeout, and then sending Vargas in to punt the football and trusting your defense will continue to make plays. Now, we do want to point out, though, you've mentioned how many blocked kicks Malik Sherrod's had over the years. Malik Sherrod was close on one Vargas punt earlier. You have to think Pacifica is going to send nearly everybody to try to block Vargas's punt if it comes to that.
I think that's something certainly should happen if we get into a 4th down situation here. But on the flip side, again, for Oxnard, they're not too concerned about that. It's a 2-score game, and time is down to what we got left here?
2:01.
2:01. So I think right now, run the football, make them either use their last time out, or if they don't, if they save it for whatever reason, you can probably eat this thing down to about a minute and a half. And let your defense, which has played lights out this second half, go back on the field and seal the deal for you.
Couple score updates. Moorpark continues to add it on against Thousand Oaks, leading 42-6. And then Calabasas, 20 unanswered against Westlake, now leading 20-14. On 3rd down, pickup of about half a yard. And now for the 3rd time this half, Pacifica will call their final timeout. Tonight's broadcast is a product of the Ventura County Star. your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers. Also, at Ventura Orthopedics, they offer state-of-the-art technology to ensure their patients receive the best care available. Always staying abreast of the latest developments in orthopedic medicine, the doctors and surgeons have been among the first in the community to perform many advanced orthopedic treatments, including total hip replacement. Learn more at VenturaOrtho.com today and let them help you get back in the game.
Well, as much hitting has been going on in this field by both teams that they might need to get to over to Ventura Orthopedics tomorrow and have a few of their battle wounds checked out.
Oxnard attempting to hold on, 156 remaining. Pacifica trying to remain perfect on the season, win a league game, and beat their crosstown rival. The snap is low. Vargas gets it off. He toe pokes it away, and another great roll as it's going to kick up all the way to the 26-yard line. Vargas making plays left and right. Again, he knew the pressure was coming. Kicks it away and ends up moving the ball enough to pin Pacifica back again.
That's his second punt that's been really ugly in terms of technique and look, but very effective. It was a low-line driver. It wasn't very far, but it was far enough that, or short enough, I guess, that the return man could not return it when the ball's bouncing around like that. So it's given Oxnard, again, great field position down to the 26-yard line with a 2-score lead. So not pretty, but very, very effective punt by Vargas.
Also a couple finals. Rio Mesa defeats Ventura 35-24, and Camarillo remains perfect. They defeat Lakewood to move to 6-0. On 1st and 10, it is Bouchard, the backup quarterback, coming in, and a great coverage by Dom Brown as he was right there stride for stride with Savon Farmer. They bring in Bouchard. You saw the arm on Bouchard there, the lefty, but that was great coverage. Brown knocks it away and complete.
And I think at this point it was a little bit of a trick play there, a little bit of a flea flicker, but you've got to be thinking that your defensive backs are going to play deep and not let anything get behind them, not worry about any short runs at this point.
1:40 remaining. Out of timeouts are the Tritons at home in this rivalry game and league game against Oxnard. Bouchard remains the quarterback, 5 wide. Bouchard now will take off. He's able to get past the original line of scrimmage. A short gain, gets up to the 31, a 4-yard gain. Clock continues to move, 3rd and 6.
Now this is what Oxnard unfortunately has a player down here. Unfortunate, number 1, because of injury. Number 2, because this does stop the clock for Pacifica. Hopefully the player, young man, is okay.
Yeah, I believe a defensive lineman.
Yeah, he's up now.
And that was Murillo, who's had a great game. He had the
big interception.
Actually, I should say Dallatorre making the play. Dallatorre's been one of the key defensive players for this Oxnard team from start to finish. He's been all in the backfield today, and you hope that he is okay.
I think he is. I think he just got shook up a little bit, bounced right back up, and he's going. The clock is running again.
Down to 1:20 remaining, 3rd and 7 for the Tritons.
Defensive backs are good 15, 20 yards deep right now. They don't care about running plays. They don't care about short throws.
The pass is going to be incomplete, and there is a flag down, so that will probably fall on the cornerback Dom Brown as he was tied up with Isaiah Moon near the first down marker. So assuming it's on the defense, that is 15 yards and a Pacifica first down.
Brown, I think, was trying to make a great break on the football. Unfortunately, he got there at the same time as Moon. He was looking for a pick 6 on that himself. Even if with the penalty, the clock will be running. You're still ahead by 2 scores. This is all for the Oxnard Yellow Jackets. This is just academic yardage right now. They'll be happy to give this up as long as the clock keeps running. Camarillo
will have the ball closer to midfield as they check it off at the 46-yard line. 1:12 remaining. Pacifica out of timeouts. Down 10. Attempting to keep their perfect season alive. 4 wide. The lone back is Alan Johnson. Brad Bouchard, the backup quarterback in. The junior lefty. Bouchard will throw a dart. It's complete for a first down as Daniel Pierce, who had a touchdown earlier today, crosses the 45. 10 yards needed, 10 yards received, and now a 1st and 10 upcoming for the Tritons.
Short stoppage of the clock to set the chains, and we'll be going again.
Just over a minute remaining in this game. 105. Bouchard will throw it complete to Rocha, and he is drilled. Actually, it was Michael Johnson drilled, and the Oxnard player who made the tackle is laying down on the field. And Coach Mike Moon not happy as the clock continued to move, and the Oxnard defensive player from the secondary came in for the big tackle and instead remains down on the field.
In defense of our clock operator down the row from us, there was no signal for a timeout or to stop the clock by the referees. The ball was caught. It was a completion. The clock should have kept running. And until the very end there, when they finally signaled to stop the clock, the scorekeeper was actually doing exactly what he should have been doing given what the referees were and were not signaling.
And it is Jarrell Samuel who had the big pick six earlier. We're going to have a final score as St. Bonaventure defeats Newbury Park 20-14. So St. Bonaventure with the 6-point win over Newbury Park. Samuel does run off the field, so after being down for about a minute, gets up, maybe shakes up a few cobwebs and leaves the game. Up 10. Doubtful he'll probably return the rest of this one. 45 seconds, the clock does wind. Bouchard back to pass. Wade's coming in on the pressure. He will throw it incomplete, intended for Savon Farmer, and Darius Wade that time beat the right tackle and was in the face of Bouchard as he released the football.
Wade did a great job, as we said, turning the hoop. He got upfield, made a nice turn, and really just showed great effort getting to the quarterback and harassing that throw.
39 seconds remain. Oxnard attempting to get its fourth win of the season. A low snap. Bouchard pocket holds. He throws it incomplete. Intended for Kyrie Wilson. And now it is fourth down. Actually, for Isaiah Moon, it was intended for. And now 4th and 8. And this could be the ball game if they don't get the appropriate 8 yards at the minimum on this 4th down. 35 seconds remain, 10-point lead. Oxnard's defense has pitched a shutout here in the second half, and they've even added a touchdown. So anytime your defense is +6 with a PAT,
that's a good thing.
You feel pretty good about your chances in any game for an entire half.
Yeah, in this situation, even if they get a first down, as long as Oxnard can keep the ball in bounds, they'll be happy.
4th and 8, Bouchard back to pass. It closes in, and there's a fumble. Darius Wade is the one who makes the sack. It's recovered by the Yellow Jackets, or it might have just been a turnover on downs. It's hard to say who came up with it. Wade comes in, back-to-back plays with the pressure, and now just a victory formation away from the Yellow Jackets, knocking off the Pacifica Tritons and giving the Tritons their first loss of the season.
Also for the Yellow Jackets this year, they came into the game with 3 wins and 2 losses, and their 3 wins were against just so-so opponents. The 2 losses had come against good teams. This is their first signature win of the season. This is a good, solid win against a good football team in Pacifica. So this is a game that was hard fought from beginning to the end. Lots of big plays and swings of momentum. But I believe in the final analysis, the Yellow Jackets deserve the win. The way they played tonight and making the most of their plays. Good, hard-fought win. Walea
did take the knee, and that does it. For the first time this season, the Tritons will be in the loss column, and the Oxnard Yellow Jackets defeat the Pacifica Tritons 24-14, a defensive shutout in the second half. And you mentioned earlier, George, it may be the MVP of tonight, Rafael Vargas, the punter, kicker, kickoff man. He was excellent, and the Yellow Jackets find a way. That's going to do it here for us tonight. This has been the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. We want to thank Joe Curley, who is doing sideline work, came up here, filled in the booth in the third quarter. We also want to thank our producer, Anthony Placencia. Signing off from Pacifica High School, this has been Kent Brown and George Contreras. Final score, Oxnard 24, Pacifica 14.